Hey! Hopefully everybody can hear us.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. This is Legends of Avantris, D&D Stream. And
going in.
This is Ironing Board DM going in.
It's awful.
I know. Welcome to episode 26, 27, 28, something like that, of Legends of Avantris. We are the Legends of Avantris. We've been playing. Why don't we get the seltzer off screen?
Sorry.
Hey. There we go.
You can use my dice bag.
Hey Corvus, how you doing?
Hey everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So we'll probably just do a little bit of quick intros while we wait for people to get in and unveil our amazing giveaway. Welcome, Corvus. So we are a group of nerds that have been playing Dungeons and Dragons together for for 2.5 years as of next month. And we've been playing in 5th edition exclusively in a campaign, this exact campaign actually. We've been playing for 2.5 years. So you're watching history, ladies and gentlemen.
History in the making.
It's history in the making.
We
are in playing 5th edition. We do a lot of home brewing, a lot of rules is fun, rules is intended, and I incorporate some stuff from 4E and some other editions that I like.
So don't bitch.
So you can bitch.
Please
you can bitch, but be more constructive with your feedback.
What kind of rapping name is Steve?
Then we are in the homebrew setting of Avantris. So this is not Forgotten Realms or anything else. This is a world of my creation. What else? I guess we can probably talk. I don't know how many people are tuning in, but I think we can unveil our giveaway. So, by the way, on Memorial Day on Monday, we had a phenomenal stream. We got a bunch of new followers.
Whole bunch.
We smashed our 200 follower goal, and you guys were fantastic, and thanks for being so engaged. And with that, we managed to select our winners. Sir Grabs, congratulations. I don't know if they've responded yet.
Have you heard back from Sir Grabs?
Not yet, but
if you're watching, we message you, Sir Grabs.
Can we hit the AC switch real quick?
Oh,
I don't think it's on.
Sounds good.
My toes are very cold.
You're just a little warm.
Yeah, I'm very, very cold.
And I'll get you a blanket.
There's one over there.
And so hopefully he responds. And if not, we'll select our backup. We have our backup winners. We'll announce that. And I guess with that, we can announce our super exciting giveaway. You can probably already see at the bottom here. Our next milestone here is 500 followers. And with that, we're going to be giving away 3 things. So not only, once again, will you get a custom dice bag of your choice, just like we got for 200 followers. As you can see here, down on the little camera down there. Nikki's a crafter, a seamstress. She makes really cool stuff. One of those items that she makes is a leather dice bag. So she'll work with you on the symbol, a patch, exterior, interior, whatever you want to do. And then, in addition, you will also be getting a custom, leather-worked rolling dice tray. It's portable. So it's a little piece of leather with like little clips. You clip up the sides. We don't have any examples here. We'll probably have one next Monday, next week at some time. So you will have, Nikki also can do leatherworking. So we will be giving away that in package, and you'll have a dice bag, and you'll have a dice tray. What do you use with those? Obviously, mouse pads know you roll dice, and so we'll also be giving away, you can't really see, there we go.
They're Avantris colors.
A set of Avantris-y style colored dice. So you will be getting dice bag, dice tray, and I think Rich is bringing in an example.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
A work in progress.
Oh, okay, hello.
So,
yeah.
Here is kind of the beginnings of one.
That's the prototype right there.
So it's actual genuine leather.
Genuine leather. So yeah, that's a
dyed.
It is real leather. So I know people may have issues with that.
So it'll be more kind of. It'll be pinched and it'll be like a tray, but
you can roll your dice.
Roll your dice. Hey Mel.
Hey Mel. Good to see you. Swim bananas.
If you win, I will kiss it for you.
Give it a big old smooch.
A big old smooch.
With that, I think we're ready to go around. Any other housekeeping? This is a mature stream, so keep your kiddos away from this.
Hide your kids. Hide your wives.
Hide your wives.
We stream Mondays and Wednesdays. If you're on Facebook, we love you, but come follow us on Twitch. We can engage with you on chat. And then with that, we'll introduce the party. Oh.
Dice, the dice.
You already showed
Alright,
it.
sure. Oh, here.
I was gonna put it here.
Here.
Well, can I have like my actual dice from like maybe out of my bag?
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
So, starting around the horn here, we have Richie playing Rodex Stoneheart, a mountain dwarf fighter. Then we have Scotes playing Ganji Stormscale. He's a bronze dragonborn cleric of Bahamut. We then have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket.
Hello.
And she is a forest gnome,
Wood elf.
warlock, wood elf,
Forest gnome.
sorcerer.
Yeah.
A forest gnome warlock of
Wood elf
Titania.
sorcerer of Titania.
Queen of the Summer Court in the Feywild. Thanks for the
Thank you for
follow,
the follow,
Zoe
Zoe
Peaches.
Peaches, thank you.
Zoe Peach. Then we have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, the Wood Elf Ranger.
Speaking of wood elves.
Speaking of wood elves, a cute brush fence. And then finally, we have Andy playing Avantris True Strike, a high elf rogue. And actually, another promo. Andy streams video games. A lot of World of Warcraft. He's the great _ Andini.
He's in chat right now.
He's in chat
Click
right
on
now.
him, follow him.
Please follow him.
He's getting his really cheeky emote approved.
Yes, he's getting an emote approved. He's became an affiliate. On days where we're not streaming, he usually is, and we're usually all in there hanging out. Come join our Discord otherwise.
Oh.
So there's always fun times with the Avantris fam. Come hang out with
It's
us.
fun. It's a durable dice bag and a durable leather
It's
bag.
a durable dice bag. Look at that. Isn't that beautimous? That is just pretty. Okay. So, with that, we'll get into what happened last time on Legends of Avantris. So, the party had previously dispatched of King Krem's pet Gorallons and had disarmed the electric lightning-charged defenses that was seemingly protecting his private chambers from anyone who would try to visit him unannounced. After disabling that, you deliberated for quite a while after hearing his voice from not too far up a spiral stone staircase. You heard that he was very fond of bananas and he wanted his followers to get
Were
them.
they swimming bananas?
They may have been swimming bananas. You never know. You didn't see them.
We didn't see 'em,
They
but
could
they might
have
have
been.
been.
They really
They
could
might
have been
float.
some swimming bananas.
Yeah.
And he actually beheaded one of his own followers after potentially erroneously thinking that he was in league with the mutineers. So it was just totally nutso. And after deliberating for quite a bit on what to do about the problem of King Krem, the party went with their companion Ratley, the Lockjaw, who was wanting to cause a mutiny and overthrow King Krem. And the Lockjaw Crooks, by the way, are crocodile pirates, for those who are new to the stream, or at least new to Avantris Prime. And Sylvie decided to disguise herself as a little short Orpheus, the tiefling sorcerer who
Like
the
4
party's
feet
been
tall.
chasing for like 2.5 years, and who is a
That's
driving factor of all of these like dark machinations that are going on this island. And after getting him away from his magical cone of whatever it was to amplify his voice so he could not call for help when they finally attacked, they engaged the fight, surprising King Krem. And after a long, brutal fight, and even a quick fake on King Krem pretending to be dead, they managed to kill him. They beheaded him, and now you all are in the chamber.
Now who gets beheaded?
Now you're all sitting in King Krem's personal quarters, his throne room. And the storm has effectively died down. You now see the light of the moon shining in and the occasional twinkling of stars through the clouds. Although the storm has dissipated, that same familiar gloomy cloud cover still is very prominent in the sky. The torches are close to running out, as there hasn't been much sign of anyone. You finished a long rest after getting to level 9, and you got to level 9, and you've dropped your Leomund's tiny hut potentially, and you are now in the throne room. Meanwhile, Ratley is gleefully sitting in King Krem's throne once again with his little hands on the huge armrests where King Krem's massive form used to sit.
Oh, I feel so much more rested. That was fabulous. But do you know who would make it better? If I still had my pig.
I don't think that's what we want to get involved in right now.
Why?
Given that we still haven't done anything about Orpheus. He knows we're here, and we know that this lair that we're in presently connects to his volcano lair.
We do?
Don't we know that?
You've heard that, yeah.
How do we know that?
Who told us that? Was that Ratley?
I believe Ratley did. Yeah. It's common knowledge from the crux at the very least.
I'm trying to figure out how that's more important than my pig.
I want to walk over to Ratley.
He's tapping the armrest.
How's it feel, buddy?
Oh, it feels really good. I feel like my blood is freer than it was yesterday. Have you ever felt like that?
I can't say that I've ever been subjugated, but it's nice to be free.
It's not
and
a
be able
good
to do what you
feeling.
want.
I feel like that sometimes, but only because I've lost a lot of blood, and so my blood is...
Are you feeling all right now?
Now I'm fine. Yes, I'm feeling...
So, Ratley, what's your plan here for potentially spreading the word of King Krem's demise and setting up the freedom for your people?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I was probably thinking about 3 or 4 or 5 steps behind where we is right now.
Fair enough. It's a lot to take in. It's understandable, but I told you, stick with us. We get things done.
Well, I can't believe by trusting a bunch of warm bloods that King Krem's headless rotting corpse will be a few feet from me. That's amazing.
It's the least we could do, honestly.
Speaking of the least we could do, so do you know do you know anything about how this throne room is connected to the volcano?
Well, no, I've never been. Frankly, truth be told, never been in King Krem's keep until yesterday's.
I'm not terribly surprised. But
I was never allowed up here. No, only the most important lockjars were allowed.
Is there any way that we can potentially reach out to one of your companions using Ganji's abilities to speak with them and see if there's a way if they may know a way that it connects to the volcano?
I don't know. Can you? I don't know what kind
But
of
you can
magic
do that.
you work.
I guess my question for you is: do your companions have potentially any idea?
Who of all of you crooks, which of you would know how to get down into the volcano layer?
Well, I guess it would be the ones who were regularly guarding King Krem. I think most of them might be dead, but there might be a few if we rough them up a little bit.
Would they still be in this keep right now?
I don't know. I'm here as you.
Well, why don't we look around? I want to kind of just look around the throne room, given that we knew that sort of the entrance was around here.
Make an investigation check. 11. You walk around, and as you're walking around the room, you step onto the grate in the middle of the throne room. Remember, there's a large metal grate, and it kind of rattles a little bit as soon as you step on it. You hear a loud echoing as the rattling of metal echoes down below, and you look down, and there seems to be a pit of darkness that is far deeper than just like a few inches set into the stone.
Do we have any sense of what we're above? Like, in the castle, like, when we went up the stairs, is this like, should below us just be the rest of the tower? Or...
Make a intelligence check.
16.
16. So, you were paying attention, Ganji, when you were traversing this keep. And...
was he?
And you remember that there seemed to be a cylindrical stone staircase all the way up. and even when there weren't stairs that you could take, there was still a stone pillar in the middle of that growling cage. Okay. And so it looks as if it's probably directly over that.
Okay. So that shaft could go down maybe all the way.
Well, why don't you ask it and see if it says it does?
That's a good point. I'm going to pick up a rock, cast my light cantrip on it, and drop it down.
Okay. You easily find like a little pebble, piece of stone has chipped off, and lights up. And the grate is definitely, the slats are definitely wide enough for it to fit. It drops down, and you see it descend, a bright light, down, 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 as it glows smaller and smaller and smaller until it disappears in the darkness.
Well, it's certainly long enough. I would guess that it's longer than what we walked up. So that's a promising start.
How do you feel, Rodek, knowing that Ganji can talk to stone pillars and you can't do anything with stone that helps us?
I can also shape them with my mind.
Well, I broke that diamond and made a big stone guy, but I can't do that again.
Yeah, and
you also walked across the rickety bridge and fell almost to your death.
Yeah, and he kind of just stood there anyway and didn't really do anything most of the time.
I'll give you, on that last fight, I didn't do a whole lot. But there were a few crocodiles that I killed in one blow.
Can you also talk to stone pillars with rocks and light bulbs?
No, but I know a lot about stone. Okay. Which is almost as good. It's not as good. But it's alright.
What's that pillar's favorite color?
Would I know what the pillar's favorite color is?
Make an intelligence check.
19.
You have no idea what the color is.
I believe it's green.
Oh, I like green too. That seems like, because moss probably grows on it, so I bet that's why it likes it.
Roll for deception.
No, I'm deceived.
Does it look like the grate opens?
You can certainly try to check.
Maybe if Ganji and Rodek work together, you might be able to pry it open.
Should we check for traps or something?
I mean, I'd be happy to. I can't imagine that King Krem would be living here with a potential, trap laying under his feet. But I'll take a look.
He was also very dumb, and Orpheus did not seem like he cared about his well-being, so I wouldn't put it past him.
I'd like to inspect the grate for any potential traps. I also turn to Sylvie and say, maybe you'd like to use that magical device we have to check for magical workings.
I cast polymorph on the stone. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll use my wand of magic detection. I magic detection it.
Okay. You wave the wand of magic detection, and for around most of the stone grate, you don't seem to get any kind of glow. But as you get to one side, it starts to glow very strongly with transmutation magic.
Well, looks like there's a transmutagen inside of this stone pillar.
So what does that mean if we touch it?
That means that not everything is what it seems. Transmutagens have a habit of transmutagenizing their surroundings.
Thanks for the follow, Spider M.
It is very dangerous.
Yeah, it does.
I'm also making that up. It's just transmutation magic. Which also means that things are potentially not what they seem.
So do you have any other insight beyond it being transmutation magic? Could you point exactly what it is?
Yeah, right
Can
there.
I see it? I can see it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So is it one side of the grate or the stone next to the grate?
It seems to be below the grate.
So, that's really interesting.
So I wonder if it only affects organic material, as the rocks seem to pass through it no problem.
True. Well, if it's underneath the grate, do you want to try opening it up and then maybe throwing some of King Krem's juicier body parts down? We're already making.
Say throw Avantris down there. Goodness gracious.
Or bananas.
Give me time.
I'd still be happy to inspect the grate for potential
Take a look,
mechanical
lad.
traps.
Go
Yes,
on,
please
take a
do
look,
that.
and
Please,
then
please,
and
please.
then
Yes.
perhaps
I'm going to
we'll
use
find-
the eyes of minute seeing.
Okay.
Let's see all those minutes.
So I rolled 27.
Ooh,
27.
that's
Okay.
scary.
So you put on your little eyes of minute seeing. You crouch down and you inspect the entire rim of where this grate is sitting. And you get the sense that the grate is actually relatively loosely placed onto the stone slat that's been built for it. And you look particularly where Sylvie had seen that there was some sort of transmutation magic. And rather than noticing any kind of remnants of any traps that you normally would recognize, you see that in a little alcove beneath this grate, there is the top of what seems to be like some sort of lever sticking out of the wall.
Interesting. Well, it looks like we can probably pry that grate off, no problem. But as far as what we're going to do to get to that lever, we'd have to somehow dispel the magic, perhaps first.
So we can't reach it?
No.
At least I wouldn't try yet, Rodek. That might be a little foolhardy.
Well, is there anywhere else, any other kind of like hidden doors or anything that we can find
In the room that you're in?
Yeah.
Right now, it's just you look around the whole room. We'll keep that investigation check that you did. And you just saw that, that there's the large gate where Tizaki's perch.
Well,
And just the grate.
King Krem did mention that Orpheus was one to kind of abruptly walk in to his throne room. So, given that there's magic involved, and King Krem wasn't one for magic beyond this blunderbuss, which I'm shocked he could even use, I think it's fair to say that he somehow used that lever to get in. So, Ganji, would you like to assist me in raising this grate?
I would love to.
Okay.
I want to reach down and...
Both of you make athletics checks. Sure.
Oh.
Why not? Why not?
That went up a point. Still not good.
That's 18.
18? 14? Okay. With both of you heaving the grate up, you manage and you lift it out of its place and you let it pull it off, letting it drop with a loud clang. And then you can see a lot more clearly now with the torchlight from around the room kind of flickering down this lever that's pointed slightly upward, sticking out of the stone, smooth stone, into this pillar that goes all the way down into the darkness.
And magic's only on one side of it, or the whole thing?
It's just around the lever.
Just around the left.
Just around the lever.
Can you use Mage Hand?
For what?
Just to go over there and touch it. Don't try to pull it.
Why would I pull on his finger?
No, to the lever.
Yeah, that's that stone pillar's finger.
Can you just touch the stone pillar's finger?
They'll
with
fart
your hand?
on me.
That's
Haven't you
not
played
the
that
thing.
game before? If you pull their finger, they fart on you, and it's awful.
But that's why you'll have mage hand, so it won't be on you.
No, but it's gonna come straight up out of that pillar right into my face.
It's worth a try.
Well, if it smells really bad, you're the one that's in trouble for this.
That's fine.
And so I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and I'm gonna try and pull the lever with the Mage Hand.
So, how heavy can the mage hand pull? What's the weight limit?
10 pounds, I think?
I told you to touch it, but...
Oh. Yeah, it's 10 pounds.
10 pounds? Okay,
Or
so...
maybe it's fine. I have it on here, right here. It is 30 feet. 10 pounds.
10 pounds. Okay, so you cast your mage hand. The floating purple hand appears directly in front of you. It's kind of like, it almost like jolts in anticipation of apeshit, potentially, until it calms down a little bit and reaches down through your will, clenches hard around the lever, and it pulls down about halfway, so that it's effectively parallel with where you imagine sea level to be. And all of a sudden, you feel your feet rumbling as the stones of the
Oh
road
my god, the fart is coming!
And I'm gonna like dive and cover my head.
You hear the sliding of stone, which is, and you see about 5 feet down a stone platform starts to appear out. And you look, and where there was a huge chute all the way down is a large circular stone platform plated in some kind of metal with 4 crystals embedded and all of the basically evenly spaced around this metal plating.
Are they square-shaped crystals?
Like maybe a socket to put a square plate in them?
They are not.
Damn.
Is it what's still blue?
What was that?
Transmutation magic.
What still has transmutation magic on it? It was the lever.
Oh,
now
the
it's
lever.
cold. Now what? Is it gone?
Now the lever then still has transmutation magic, but then you also would go down and be able to get transmutation magic around the whole elevator.
The magic itself was...
Elevator. Haha! Those are the levels, the buttons. I didn't hear that. Sylvie still thinks it was going to try and fart on her, so she's still covering her head.
Well, Sylvie, you know magic. Why don't you go down and investigate?
Did you smell it? Is it done?
How far down into the hole is the platform?
It's about 5 feet.
Wow, that's really deep. Oh gosh, if I jump down there, I might break a leg, or even worse, a finger or something.
Is the platform still connected to the wall, or is it like floating?
The platform floating?
It seems to be flush with the walls, but it does not seem to have any kind of like floating effect to it.
I'm just gonna jump down there.
Okay.
Because Rodek told me to.
Okay. You hop down onto this platform, and nothing seems to happen.
I'm gonna do that, like that thing from Hocus Pocus when Sarah Jessica Parker's character touches pavement for the first time, where I like jump and I'm like, it's firm! And I'm gonna hop around.
Okay.
Great reference. I love it.
Thank you.
The platform stays completely. Oh,
Thank you for the cheese.
Alphazor 6.
Good to see you
it's great
again.
to have you.
dude.
Welcome
Yeah.
back. Welcome back. It seems to be very smooth, no sort of wobbling as you hop around. Granted, you weigh like what, 20 pounds?
Yeah,
But yeah.
No.
yeah. Just 3 feet tall, so. She ain't no thing.
What do you want me to do now, Rodek?
Take a look at the
Rodek.
crystals. What do they say?
Rodek.
You're right there.
Well, I wanted to make an echo sound.
Her hat would be like above
Yeah.
where the
Yeah, my giant hat.
where the entrance is to this little dip.
Yeah, I'll investigate it.
Okay.
Probably find absolutely nothing.
13.
13. You look around. You see that these gems are this nice blue color, and the metal seems to be scuffed up a good amount. But you don't seem to find anything of interest beyond just the metal sheets with the 4 gems inlaid in them.
I don't see anything of interest, just metal sheets with gems inlaid into them. And I also think that you're a liar and that you're not capable of talking to stone the way Ganji is, because obviously this stone pillar type of color is blue, not green. I will never believe anything you say.
It's fine.
Speaking of investigation, how many of those stone slabs have we found?
3.
3.
We're missing the K?
Okay. No, you're missing
Well, we don't-
the M.
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't actually
You
know
don't know.
what we're missing.
Yeah.
It
We
could
don't
be
know
a
what
W.
they belong to or where they came from.
It
But
could
my point
it
is,
could be crew instead of creme.
That's true.
before we continue
Then again,
on,
what's the difference
is there any
between W
chance
and
that
W?
we missed one of these things if we think that they're supposed to spell something?
Do we? And I take one and I hand it to Sylvie. Do you see anywhere? Is there any relation between those 4 crystals and this plate thing?
I look at it. I don't even bother to look at the crystals. No, and I just hand it back to you.
Well,
Sylvie, did you actually take a look?
Yeah, at the plate.
I mean, if this is Orpheus's mode of transportation, I don't think he's going to go on some magical creme quest every time he wants to get to his lair.
Look, you little shitters. I pulled the stupid thing, I risked the fart, I jumped in the hole, I danced that it was firm. You guys can come down here and check things out for yourself. Why do I have to do your dirty work? And then I'm going to attempt to climb up the wall.
Okay.
Even though I have my broom and I could fly out. Dramatically. And like constantly falling and making like, oh! Noises.
I'll lean down and give her a hand, and once she gets out, I'll jump down.
I'm gonna like go to grab his hand, and then slip and fall back down.
Make an acrobatics check.
More like performance.
11.
11. You kind of scuff your elbow a little bit, but it's not that bad as you dramatically fall back down. Ganji, after following Sylvie, you hop down. You're probably looking at everybody's boots, and it comes up to about here. And you stand, you give it a bit of a tap with your foot, and it seems to be pretty stable.
Okay.
It's firm.
I see that.
Do you think we could all get down there?
Is there room?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a very, very large
I mean,
platform.
if y'all want to come on one at a time just in case, but it seems like
I'll
it.
go
Yeah.
last.
Just don't touch anything that you don't have to.
In the meantime, I'm gonna look at one of the gems. I don't know if there is there any distinction between them.
You make an investigation check.
Alright. It's gonna
That was a
be
good one.
an 18.
An 18?
Mhm.
Okay. With you look around at all of the gems, they seem to be the exact same shape, color, and size.
Okay.
And they seem to be in there. They just look like. I would say, from what you're used to, you get the sense that this might be just kind of a magical affectation to it.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't seem to be. They don't trigger any kind of like special memories or anything.
Okay.
Rurik, I need you to make a perception check.
Oh shit. Am I down there yet?
No, you're up there close.
Ooh, and I'm proficient in that. 24.
24. Okay. So as everyone's kind of crowding around this new platform in the center of the room, Rattly's still kind of just drumming and tapping on the armrests. You, Rhoda, kind of further away from the back, hear something from outside the gate to the outside of the keep, and you hear a low roar of many voices.
Like from Zaki's perch
Shouting
area?
from what sounds way below where you are.
Can I go out and take a look?
You'd have to open up the metal gate to kind of get a good look.
Do you all hear that? Hear that?
Would we hear that?
Would you hear it?
I would say with Rhoda kind of alerting to you and you guys go to listen, you would then be able to hear it, sure.
Hold on 1 second. Let me go check that out.
I don't know if we should open the gate if that's what you're thinking.
Well, it sounds very far away, right?
It does.
I'll go with you. I think you're right. We should check this out.
Thank you.
Okay. So I need both of you to make just straight strength checks as you pull the gate.
15.
15?
10.
Hey!
Okay, with
Probably.
Rhoda
My
doing
feeble elf arms.
with you pretend like you're helping Annulin, but Rodak manages to pull the do most of the work and pull the chain as the grate starts rising up, the rattling of chains that you heard before. And you look over at Ratley just briefly, and there is a look of very real alarm. And he says, "Oh, is that the rest of the crew? Oh jeez!" And you find a metal rod that can slide into the chain to keep the gate propped up. You manage to get that in there, and you're going to kind of walk out on the perch.
Yeah, very carefully.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make a perception check.
So you're going to say acrobatics. I'm like, well,
I was too.
Nice knowing you.
Am I assisting with that, or is it the same?
Oh, yeah, you also make one, Annual.
Yours is better than mine. I got a 17.
I also got a 17.
Okay. Both of you step out carefully onto the perch. It's actually fairly sturdy. It's relatively flat going out until it tapers off into where you imagine Zaki and other vultures would have stayed perched while they were traveling back and forth between Krem's personal chambers. And both of you see coming up from around the peak. You remember that little road that had been traveling down around the mountain that came up along the peak to the gate of the keep. And almost actually directly below you, you see a swarm, a throng of crocodiles, of these lockjaw crooks, all coming with torches and swords and tridents and clubs, and they are just shouting and they're like, "Ah!" waving the flag that is currently hanging in the throne room where you're now standing.
Do they look angry? Is it like angry shouting? Or...
They literally have like fully like torches and pitchforks. Like, I'm gonna go with yes.
It's difficult from where you are to tell.
How close are they?
You guys are 4 tiers up, effectively. They are, the lower tier is then above this mountain path as they're coming up around to eventually get to the keep, which is to your left, to the main gate.
How fast are they moving?
They're in a hurried march. They're not sprinting, but like they're moving They're moving relatively quickly. They're not all meandering.
Ratley, what reason do these loyalists have to remain loyal if they find out that we've murdered King Krem?
I don't know. I mean, we printed out a whole bunch of pamphlets, and we got a lot of ground when we first got the rebellion before that got quashed. But I mean, I don't know how gameplay's been in the days since the week or whatever it's been since we've been gone.
What are the chances that we could potentially prove that we've dethroned King Krem and dissuade them from this fervor that they're in?
Wait, hold on a second. Do you say that all that noise was not just a gentle breeze on the wind, and it was a throng of bloodthirsty pirates coming for us? Is that what you says?
I'm not there, right?
Or didn't you tell them what it was?
Not yet. I mean, we're still out on the perch. But...
Hey, Rodek,
Well, it
what
sounded
did
like
you
Ratley
see?
knew it was something bad.
I mean, they can hear it. They're probably
Okay, they can.
assuming
Yeah.
that,
So like,
I'll start walking in.
okay.
Well, I mean, I guess we could try. I mean, where's Victor Vicious? I'm sure he could rally them. Or what about Nick the Nasty?
Hold that thought. Gang, come together.
We're all still in the like elevator.
So I'm gonna walk to the edge. I see
You two
Vandris-
are in the elevator, just kind of walking.
I see
With
Vandris
Vandris,
go-
yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
So
right.
I walk up and they're very angry, and it looks like they're coming to kill whoever was. Word must have somehow reached them that we are here.
So I was talking to Ratley to see if there was any way that maybe us proving that we've killed King Krem could dissuade them from, maybe cause them to lose morale and scatter. He's asking about Vic the Vicious and Nick the Nasty, and I don't really know how to answer any of those questions.
I do. So we have King Krem's head, right?
Aye.
And I have... Ratley, don't listen, okay?
What was that? Was I not supposed to do?
Exactly. So,
He failed his intelligence check.
I have my hat of disguise, so I can become Vic the Vicious anytime I want. I also have an ability called Major Image, where I could try to make Avantris look like Vic the Vicious again, and then we can, I don't know what we would do then.
Now.
So I'm fine with you taking up the mantle of Vic the Vicious, but I'd almost feel better if we could have Ratley take the mantle and step up and almost, lead this rebellion.
No, I completely agree, but I'm just thinking if Ratley steps out there with the head of King Krem and says, "Oh, I killed King Krem, I'm scared of everything," that they'll just come in here and kill him and someone else will take over. But if Vic the Vicious, who they're all afraid of right now, and who Krem was afraid of, goes out on Zaki's perch and holds up the head of King Krem and, amplifies his voice with my major illusion.
Or our little thingy.
Or his horn.
That hand comb that's in your bag
that's
right
in
now.
my bag of Corrallin shit. Yes. So with that, he could yell really loudly, "Vic the Vicious was victorious. King Krem has fallen. Those who remain loyal to him, their deaths are imminent. Vow to Vic the Vicious, blah, blah, blah." And then we continue doing what we're doing, and then you pass on you then, claim later maybe that Ratley was the whole reason that everything worked so well and that you are leaving him in charge.
I think that has a great ring to it.
We could do that. That's a good plan. I like that plan.
Thanks.
We also have... It's also possible for us...
Your tail smells funny.
A lot of things smell funny at this point, but I'm guessing it's either the cave farts or the ape shit. Either way.
Or the acid.
That too.
Armor.
There's that. So, we could also imitate King Krem himself, using the hand thing, and tell everyone that to go somewhere else or something, I don't know. Or...
Oh yeah, that's a good idea too.
Or we could just seal the door, because there's only one door, and we can seal it.
I think we should definitely seal the door no matter what, but whatever we do, we need to do quickly. They're coming. I personally like the first thing best.
So, this may sound crazy, but I think Ratley's been through a lot of
Okay, let's do it.
Do my idea that I'm about to say?
Yeah, you said it's gonna sound crazy. I like it.
Alright, well, here's what I'm...
All for it, say aye.
Aye.
I
Alright, sorry, Annual, you're the lone one out. What are we doing?
Alright, here's the plan.
Okay.
It's basically... Who was just saying the plan about the horn, and was it you? That was you talking?
Are you asking me this question? I don't want to go with this plan
Was
anymore.
that you?
He seems unsure of what's been going on.
No, so you were saying that you could use the horn and imitate Vic the Vicious. Instead, I think we've been through a lot with Ratley. I believe at this point, certainly we can trust him.
Yeah.
So I think we should fess up and let him know that you two were Nick the Nasty and Vic the Vicious.
Oh boy.
And, because...
Do I have to tell him I'm going to piss on the people from Gullhaven again?
Yeah, that was a good effect.
That's fine if you do that.
Okay.
But here's my thought. None of the crooks down there know what Vic the Vicious looks like.
But they know what Ratley looks like.
They know what Ratley looks like. And I think they know what you look like as Vic the Vicious, or Nick the Nasty. There's a lot of crocodiles.
Why wouldn't they know what Vic the Vicious looked like? Vandris was literally wearing the dead corpse of some guy.
Can we not bring that up anymore?
Well, we're having a conversation about what happened.
So-
I think it's important.
I believe all they saw was the blood in the jail cell, right?
Yeah, of course.
So they don't know what either of you look like.
While this conversation is going on, without interrupting it, I'm going to get up out of the thing and go to the door.
Oh my god, that was awful.
And I'm going to go to the door and listen at the door.
Okay.
How big is the door?
It is.
Dingleberries.
So remember that Annulin had shut it. It was a heavy wooden door that kind of locked at the bottom. So probably standard, or I guess it'd be large enough for some of the larger crooks to get through. But King Krem himself probably couldn't have even fit through this door. So it's standard size door, a little bit bigger.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna listen for people coming up.
Are you
those
opening
stairs.
the door?
No.
Okay.
I'm if I
Putting your ear?
can lock it, I'm going to.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm gonna put my ear on the
So
door.
Annulin had already locked it. So why don't you just get a perception check just for you standing watch?
Okay.
Hey, SGA001, thanks for the
That's
sub
gonna be
earlier.
a 12.
A 12.
thank
okay.
you.
So you're listening at the door. What are you guys talking about?
The same thing.
Now, I don't believe any of the two of you want to stay on this island and lead these pirates, right?
Please don't speak for me.
Hell
You
no.
don't,
You don't know me, Rodek?
Thank you,
you
Andres.
don't know what I want.
I'm pretty sure you don't want that.
Well, Titania is the queen of the summer court, and she's beautiful, and she has servants all around her. I wouldn't mind being the queen of Ugly Crocodile Island, full of
Now,
gorilla shit.
Here's what I suggest. The two of you go up to Ratley, who's like right there.
He's not listening. I asked him to not listen. He
What am
said,
I not supposed to be doing again?
See?
The two of you go and you explain who you are and who you were when we met him.
Okay.
And then you disguise yourself as Nick the Nasty,
Okay.
and then you go out on that perch with Ratley,
Okay.
and you use your horn and announce to everyone that Ratley was actually Vic the Vicious and that he single-handedly slayed King Krem.
Perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
How does that sound?
I think that's great. I'd be happy to talk to Ratley if it would be easier.
I'm really sad about this though, because this is the second time you've lied to me today. The first lie was you told me that stone pillar's favorite color was green. Lie, it was blue. The second one that you told me was that this was a crazy idea. This is not a crazy idea. This is a very realistic and plausible idea, and I'm upset by that because I would not have voted yes to doing it if I had known that.
Do you know me by now?
I guess not.
When are my plans ever crazy?
What a disappointment you are.
No.
Do you think we can sell him when we get back to Gullhaven and find someone else to be in our party?
Selling people is immoral.
But he's a dwarf.
I know you said not to bring it up, but you did wear someone earlier.
I'm never going to live that down. Look, I did what I had to do to get us where we are today, okay? And I'm not proud about it, but somebody has to do the dirty work. And unfortunately,
look.
it was me.
You know, Annulin, you can be upset about this all you want, but it got us to where we are now. So,
Where we are now is standing around with our dicks in our hands while like a horde is coming after us.
Right,
Please.
you two didn't see it, but we do not have much time, and so if we're going to do this plan, you two need to address Ratley and let them know who you are.
fine, I'll do it. Vandris, carry me out of this gigantic pit that I cannot climb out of on my own.
Fine. Just when I get you out of this pit with the elevator, make sure you start to get ready to be Nick, and I'm going to go talk to Ratley and explain the situation.
Okay, I'm ready.
I pick her up and I carry her out of the elevator.
Okay. You grab her.
I'm going to get out
It's not hard to place her down, and you hop up.
and I'm just going to stand by and listen.
Wow, you're such a limber elf. Nimble,
I do what I
limber.
can.
Ratley, we need to talk to you.
Okay.
How do you like that throne?
Oh, it's very comfortable. I mean, it smells really bad, but I think that would happen on an old banana diet.
Yeah. How do you feel about being king of a bunch of dirty, disgusting alligator men and a bunch of growling shit?
Oh, me king? Why would I be king?
Well, that's not the question I asked you. Would you like to do it? Would it make you happy?
I mean, I just want to not be ruled by a tyrannical dictator who's crazy. That's all I want.
Okay, well, I want to play a little game, okay?
Okay.
This is going to be very difficult. I want you to sound menacing. Say, Sylvie, I'm going to cut your head off.
Okay, let me give it a shot.
You have to tell us what the roll is. You have to.
Wait until after he does
Oh, yeah,
whatever he
true,
does.
true.
Oh, hey, Sylvie. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, you don't look very nice to me.
All right, Radley, that wasn't a very good war face. We're gonna need you to work on that one.
On a scale of 1 to 20, that sounded like a 1.
For an intimidation roll, it may just have been.
Okay, Ratley, I want you to listen, okay?
Okay.
Eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of alligators, and the best known survivor walks his way to the and the head of the tiger.
And I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration.
Oh,
And I'm gonna
goodness.
say, all right, we're gonna practice this one more time, Ratley. Okay? Just one more time. I want you to look at me. I want you to lock eyes with me, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to scrunch up your face like this, okay?
Okay.
I want you to pretend like you're sniffing the Gorilla shit that's in my
Ah,
bag right
oh,
now,
please,
alright? I want you to
oh.
get mad.
That sounds horrible.
Right, and I want you to pretend that both myself and Avantris have been lying to you for a long time, okay?
Oh, that
and we're a
wouldn't
bunch
be
of
very nice.
we're a bunch of liars and deceitful assholes, okay? I want you to think about that.
Oh, that would be really not nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
And then I want you
no.
to look at me and I want you to say, Sylvie, you better watch yourself or I'm gonna cut your fucking head off. Okay? Try it.
Okay, what's the bardic inspiration?
D6.
D6.
This is escalating very quickly.
I'm not sure what the end game here is, but I guess I'm listening at the door.
Do you hear anything, Ganji?
Do I hear anything?
You start to hear very distant but internally the echoes of clanging metal, footsteps, and low voices, angry.
They're starting to come and they sound angry.
All right, guys, we gotta pick up the pace.
If this doesn't work, I'm gonna spill the beans here. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Radley.
Okay. I will cut your head off if you don't do what I was supposed to ask you to do.
That was
All right.
pretty successful. So, this is the thing. I'm a liar, he's a liar. I'm Nick the Nasty. Watch.
And I use my hat and I turn into Nick the
Oh,
Nasty.
it's Nick the Nasty. Oh, jeez.
Ratley, do not make me.
Ah, ah.
Oh, and he's Vic the Vicious, but he's not wearing
No,
a dead
no.
crocodile skin.
Listen, Vic is not, he doesn't exist. It was me, I was putting on a disguise, but that's, the point is that Vic the Vicious was in your heart the whole time. You could be Vic the Vicious, I believe in you.
Me too. I'm now Nick the Nasty, and I believe in you too. And if you don't do it, I'm gonna piss all over you. Just like I pissed all over this people in Gullhaven.
Wait, so you lied to me the whole time?
Yeah, we did, and you killed King Krem.
You were sitting.
And you mean that I was the one that did all that in the prison and I just forgot about it? It wasn't really you guys?
You are Vic the
Go
Vicious.
with that.
You idiot, you knocked your head on the side of the wall and used Vic the Vicious. And you killed King Krem. Now you're the king of this entire town. Now you can piss all over these crewmen.
Is that true, Avantris? Was you Vic the Vicious or was I? I'm so confused.
All right, let's...
Andrews, I don't know what to tell him.
Vandrus, I give him like a knowing look.
I'm telling you, listen to me closely. Vic the Vicious does not exist, but it proves that you and the power of all of us together could do what we needed to do. So you can carry on the mantle of Vic the Vicious yourself.
Okay. With that, and because of you guys, I'd like you to roll with advantage with a persuasion check.
Me?
Yeah.
Is there any way I can sing him a little ditty before he does it?
Sure.
Vandrus. Vandry.
Sorry, it's a Drag Race reference, but you get bardic inspiration.
I love it. I'm feeling very inspired.
You know what it is, don't you?
No.
Oh, God.
Vanjie.
Oh, I do know
Ow,
that.
ow, ow. My sides are literally hurting. Ow. God damn it. Okay.
It's a D6, by the
So,
way.
with my inspiration, I rolled a 19 plus the 10 that I get because I'm extra super persuasive.
Whew, didn't you get
So I rolled a 29.
So after you give him that, and after Sylvie, who, by the way, those of us who are new, she is in the form of Nick the Nasty, who is a small little crocodile, roughshod crocodile pirate, who talks like this. And
Pisses on everybody.
And that. After that inspiring speech, Ratley kind of, his eyes gloss over for a bit as a moment passes, and his eyes refocus again, and they seem to be filled with a bit of determination as he reaches into his little coat and he pulls out, now quite mottled and broken, the one remaining feather of Zaki that you had harvested from the side of the mountain where she died.
I gave it to him.
Yeah. And he says, "You're right. We killed Zaki. We killed Queen Zingara. We killed Melancholia. We killed all those shitty Gorallins that was eating all of us. And it didn't matter that there was no Victor Vicious or Nick the Nasty. I kind of had a feeling that was a little silly. That they was such a big deal and our name never saw them, and that he was a revolutionary and we was handing out pamphlets and he never said hi. That was suspicious."
In hindsight, when you say it out loud, it does sound a little silly, but that's not the point, right? You found the point.
And he looks at the slumped forward body of King Cram. Where do you guys put his head, by the way?
It's on my broomstick.
Sylvie's broomstick propped up in the corner with King Cram like.
But it's also got the Gorallin head on it, and it had the head of the guy that he chucked down the stairs too. Technically,
So Sylvie's broom finally living its witchy destiny of being mounted with the horrific heads of 3 different slain crocodile pirates.
Sylvie the Impaler.
He looks over to that and he says, "And King Crum is dead."
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he is. I gotta keep this up for a while, cause we're gonna do something crazy, alright, Ratley?
And I helped.
Yes, you did. If I had a platinum piece for every time you saved my ass against King Krem, I'd be rich.
Well, I'm feeling a lot better about this, then. I feel like I really earned it. And no, it wasn't just you guys. I contributed something.
You did. A lot.
Well, what are we gonna do now?
I'm gonna reach into
I
my
forgive
pack.
you for lying to me. That's kind of shitty, and you wore probably one of my friend's head. But I hate all those guys anyway. It's fine.
So before
I'm
we
gonna
do
reach
it-
into my pack because you're not there.
Yeah,
And
I'm standing listening.
Oh, I'm gonna pull out because I took the horn and the crown.
Okay.
Didn't
Yeah.
I take his
Yeah.
crown? And so I'm gonna go over because he's taller than I am, right?
Yes.
I'm going to
He's like 5'5".
yeah, I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Alright, Ratley, if you were gonna take up this mantle, you've gotta wear the crown.
Oh.
And then we're gonna go and we're gonna let everyone out there know that if they fuck with you, we're gonna piss all over them. And you're gonna hold up the head of King Krem and you're gonna say, there is no Victor Vicious. It's Ratley the... Guys, help me here. It's Ratley the something.
We can't hear you.
I know, I'm thinking I don't want my thoughts to just be out there before I think about them and say something ridiculous.
Ratley the righteous, freeing you all from your
That's pretty
last
good.
shitty
That's
king,
not
alright?
bad.
You're Ratley the righteous, and you single-handedly took down King Krem.
I was gonna go with something like Razzmatazz, but that's much
I
better.
like it better. I'm gonna say that in a moment.
Please don't.
We'll see how I feel.
You hear the noises getting much louder as
We're running out of time.
Well, I guess we don't have time. Let's do this. And so I'm just, without him even agreeing to it, I'm gonna get the crown on his head. And we're going to Zaki's Perch? Where are we going to do this?
Yeah, anywhere. I mean, it's loud enough. But
Okay.
Zaki's Perch is a good place.
So we're gonna go to Zaki's Perch, and I'm going to use my minor illusion to amplify my voice.
Hold on. Before you do that,
Oh no, I'm gonna use his horn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
hold on. Hold on. really quickly, Ratley,
You
before
just say
she
hold
does
on
this,
4 or 5 times.
or he does this, are you ready to take on this mantle?
I guess I don't really have a choice, or we's all gonna die probably.
No, he can do it. I believe
That's
him.
exactly what you said when
Oh,
we left
oh,
your house and came in here. And
Over at the wall, I'm
did
going
it.
to whisper into the rock donkeys. Remember, these are pirates. We don't give a shit whether they work out or not after we kill Orpheus.
Just remember what we went through, and remember that you're a benevolent king, and that you want to give freedom to your people. Never forget that.
Okay, I think I can do it.
So-
Okay.
We're
Go
gonna
on.
step
and
out.
it sounds like they're in the Goralin cage as you hear the thunderous footsteps.
Rodak, help me hold this door.
All right.
So I'm
I'm
gonna,
gonna go over
I'm
and
gonna
brace the
hold
door.
up the horn and I'm going to say,
Attention! All ye pirates, bums, and looters hanging out inside of Gullhaven and on this godforsaken fucking island. Gangplank and shit. And Gullhaven. Fuck you if you stayed. I hate you. This is Nick the Nasty, and I'm here with an announcement. King Krem is dead. You move an inch, you'll be dead too. Stop where you are.
and then I'm gonna like,
Vic the Vicious.
okay.
Hold on. Genji, you guys will hear this, so you won't need to roll a perception check. You hear the and then as soon as she says that, all of the footsteps stop. The motion stops, and you hear like a audible gasp in unison, and hurried whispers back and forth as you listen. Go ahead.
Now listens up, all of yous guys. We wasn't lions, was we, when we said Vic the Vicious will rise? Well, we was, but you'll listen. Behind all of this was one of your own. A mutineer, the best of them. Ratley, the righteous. Let's get a cheer for him, mutineers! And I'm gonna cheer really loudly, just assuming that everyone down in the town is cheering along too. Ratley himself came up to this tower while y'alls was down looking for Vic the Vicious. Tricky little bugger, wasn't he? Getting you away from the castle. And he killed King Krem with his bare hands. Here, his head is, perched in Zaki's very own perch. Ha ha ha! Ratley the Righteous, freeing you from the vicious machinations of King Krem the Cruel, who cared not for your wants or your needs. Ratley, who will help you to rise, to gain money and power and sexy gator women's. With me and him, but not me for long, because he is too powerful to have a second in command. I would never assume so much as to be by his side as an equal. Will piss all over anyone that tries to steal his crown or take over what he has rightfully earned. View this head and this Goralin head and this random alligator head as his triumph over your former king. Ratley the Righteous has risen!
And that's gonna be the end of what I say, and I'm gonna kind of like help Ratley with the crown on his head, like hold up the broom, holding all three of the heads.
So
Rhoda gives a little clap.
you see, I need you to roll a persuasion and an intimidation check at advantage.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Okay, so
Oh, that's
that's a
pretty-
good one.
that's
So
pretty
whatever the
good.
first, which one did you want me persuasion first?
Yeah, persuasion.
25.
Okay. Intimidation?
And intimidation is 20.
20. Okay, so you look out, and although Ganji, you hear that there are definitely crooks from basically right outside that stairwell that have stopped. There are also still throngs and throngs of crooks still on the road coming up, and then you hear quiet fall over the crowd as Ratley steps forward. The crown on his head, definitely too big, but barely slipping on as you're kind of helping prop up the
I'm like
crown.
holding it with my mage hand in the back.
Yeah, the mage hand is kind of propping it up at the back as your broom is flying alongside with the head of King Krem, and you hear one single voice, barely audible, "Hey, that is actually the head of King Krem!" And then you hear a very low murmur come over the crowd. And after a bit, you hear, "Ah! Ah!" and you hear cheers and erupt as all of a sudden the lockjaws that are even down in the chamber start to talk a little bit more hesitantly. You hear down below these crooks that are wrapping around the mountainside. You can kind of see the entire island. You see that there are gangplank down on the lagoon, and you see that there's smoke rising, and you get the sense that it's been pretty fucked up. And you hear these cheers of hesitant excitement. Ganji, you hear, and Rodok, you're by the door too? Or,
yeah.
You're by the door. Both of you hear kind of, "Oh, is that true?" And it seems as if there is a great celebration down below, but the ones at the head seem to be a little bit.
Thanks for the host.
Hey,
Ryan.
the host, right? And as this excitement is happening, anything you guys want to do?
So I'm going to take to the horn one more time, and I'm going to say,
This dawns the new era of gangplank in this island. With the vicious ruler overthrown, all shall be forgiven. As long as you vow allegiance to the rightful king, Ratley the Righteous, those in his employ will be forgiven. You, however, are not provided jobs. You will have to work to serve the new king. Tonight, however, Ratley will rest as he has been victorious today. Everyone else, celebrate, for tomorrow dawns a new age in Gangplank.
Make another persuasion.
please roll well for me.
Nice.
You're on fire.
26.
26. The once again the kind of confusion and chatter comes over the crowd, and they seem to be a bit unsure. And then all of a sudden the tonality starts to change. They start talking and they start nodding, and you hear a voice call out, "We want to hear from Ratley!"
So I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say,
You're a survivor, you're not gonna give up, you're gonna make it, and something else, Destiny's Child.
and I'm going to give him a bardic inspiration, and then I'm going to hand him the horn.
Okay, it's a D6.
I'm gonna run up from the door within kind of not yelling distance, but like speaking loudly. Ratley, just remember, mention that you have warm blood allies that will take care of Orpheus for all of you.
And I'm also going to look at him, and I'm going to, in my actual Sylvie voice, I'm going to go,
Ratley, I believe in you. I believed in you when I gave you Zaki's very last feather, and I believed in you when in that doorway you helped to kill King Krem. You can do this, and I know that you can. You're a much better ruler. They need you. We need you.
and I'm going to pat him on the back, and I'm going to go, I'll hold your hand if you need to. And I'll just kind of like grasp his hand with my little gnome hand. So I will hold his hand and I'll like squeeze it.
He grabs the cone and he steps forward. He tries to keep the hand holding in the background. He's trembling a little bit. You kind of hear that familiar rattling as he's trying to get a handle on the cone.
Well, today's a day we've been waiting for years, am I right, crooks?
And you hear a bit of trepidation. And then...
I'm gonna start screaming.
We're all gonna start screaming, yeah, on the inside.
And then the crowd kind of sort of, yeah.
You all knew it, didn't you? King Krem became a pathetic, useless leader the moment he made the deal with Orpheus, didn't he?
Yeah!
And then there's a bit quiet, like, oh yeah, and then you guys can kind of hear a similar thing.
Oh yeah, that's right, that Orpheus guy really sucks.
True that.
True that.
Well, I took matters into my own hands. I saw that he was weak and useless and took us away from the old ways. And I recruited the most bloodthirsty, warm-blood mercenaries the lot of you have ever seen. And they have promised me that they are going to kill Orpheus and get revenge on all of us that was used for slave labor and for experiments and torture and fun and games as he laughed as we all died for him and King Krem.
Yeah!
The crowd all of a sudden erupts into cheers, and they start chanting, "Right, Lee, right, Lee, right, Lee,
Right, Lee, right, Lee, right, Lee."
And I am your new king, but I am no King Krem. A crook should not have to live for any other crook. We are a free people, and just because we don't live in fancy cities like all the warmbloods do, and we live in a filthy swamp with horrible monsters all around us, we should not be filthy pirates murdering and cutting throats. We have an island full of resources. We have massive diamond mines. We could become traders. We could become merchants. We could be richer than we ever was robbing poultry trading vessels.
You hear like a, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then rah! And then he stops and he's seeing everyone.
And just to prove that I mean business and I do not fuck around, how's this?
And he reaches up and he grabs Krem's head off of the broom, and he chucks it off the tower. It plummets into the middle of the crowd, and it's like kind of like at a concert where they're all kind of bouncing around the balls, and it's bouncing around, and then they're all kind of passing it around like, and then it's Rattly the righteous, Rattly the righteous, Rattly the righteous, as the crowd erupts and cheers, King Rattly, King Rattly, King Rattly,
King Rattly.
and the crowd, and he says,
and I will let all of you know when my bloodthirsty mercenaries have killed the evil quote-unquote advisor, Orpheus. If you even know what quotes are, I don't.
It sounded really cool, though.
But tonight, we rest, and we eat, and we drink, and celebrate. For the first time, Lockjaw crooks that are free crooks.
and everyone erupts into applause. And it's at that point you hear slow, heavy footsteps coming up the stairs, and you hear a loud knock on the door.
Let's unlock it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I'm saying that.
As Vic the
In
Vicious,
character.
I'm gonna, or Nick the Nasty, I'm gonna go.
Who goes there? Who attempts to disturb the new King Rattly when he's in need of rest?
My name's Clubber. I was the big honcho down in gameplay. Is it true that Kremmy's dead?
Let him in, boys.
Or unlock the
I'm
door.
gonna draw my rapier.
Ganji leans down, you unlock the door and lift up the wooden doors, and basically every single inch of the door frame is covered in these brown scales as this enormous looking Lockjaw with an enormous club in his hand steps in, and he looks around at all of you. He is beat up. He is covered in scars. There, you actually see a knife in his shoulder that seems almost like scales have grown over. And he looks very rough and very mean as he looks up at the flag of the Lockjaw Crooks. And he looks around at all of you, and he looks directly at the beheaded body of King Krem. And as Rattly is walking back in after finishing his speech,
and you was the one that did this, and you ain't gonna cut me head off, or any of me lads, just 'cause we was doing what Krem said.
Ratley looks at him and he steps up and says,
As long as you swear you're really, 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 really sorry, and you do not fuck with the now free and independent peoples of the Lockjaws, I will spare all of you.
he thinks for a moment, and he nods, and he says,
Long live King Ratley, the righteous.
and he turns slowly, and his club is dragging behind him. You kind of see that there may have been a tenseness and a thirst for blood when he came up, and it has been deflated as he walks slowly down the stairs, and you hear the as the club hits every single step on the way down, and you hear his low voice talking, can't make out the words, and then you hear a mildly excited chatter in the room below as it gets quieter and quieter and quieter, and the voices, the excited voices, become too distant to hear. You still hear the cheering outside, though, in celebration.
Well, shit, maybe we should have asked them how to get to Orpheus's lair.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
I'm gonna drop my disguise.
Oh,
As
that's
they shut
right,
the
you're
door.
Sylvie. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, that's right, you're Sylvie. Ah.
you did really, really well, Ratley. That training I taught you and how to be, like, really mean and what's the word that I'm looking for? I might have a stat. Intimidating. You did it. You nailed it. You nailed that intimidation like nobody's business, and I'm so very proud of you.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I can't believe that this is actually happening. I can't wait to see Winky and all the rest of them. I hope they're still okay.
Yeah, and they'll be able to move into this castle with you and have a better life.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No more living in a filthy hole.
Yeah, that's so great. Wow. Shucks.
Would you have some way to send for them?
He still has the thing.
Oh, and one more thing. You find Winky and an old man, old crook Squits, and you have them brought here and treated like royalty, and none will harm not a hair, a scale on their little heads. Or else you'll be hearing from me, Ratley the Righteous.
He puts it down.
That was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was great. You even said the word fucking when you were talking about your stuff.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I taught you that word.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Ganji was getting really mad because it was taking a long time, but I knew you'd need the help. Jeez.
So while all of this has gone off nearly flawlessly, Orpheus has to be watching our every move, and I'm concerned for the safety of the peoples here on this island, quite frankly, because he can't be none too happy. I realize he looks at them as disposable, but I'm worried he may try to do something rash.
Well, I honestly think that he needed them. Like, do you think that he would have spent wasted any time at all with King Krem if he didn't need them?
No, but now that they're free, what would
But
stop
my
him
point
from
being-
slaughtering them wholesale?
Because if he could have done that, he probably would have done that to begin with.
Well, I don't know that he cares. I mean, the point is we still have to get to his lair and stop whatever he's doing down there. We don't know if his need for the crew for that goal has passed already.
I mean, and honestly, at this point, like, as much as I would love to think about it, I do think that Ratley can handle his people. I mean, I don't know. I was convinced by that speech. It seemed like a lot of that came from the heart.
I just want to get to Orpheus as quickly as possible. The longer we wait, the more time we give him, the more dangerous he'll be.
Yes, exactly. Let's do that. Let's
And
get to Orpheus.
You know he listened to every word we just said.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Orpheus. You're a piece of shit, and I'm gonna piss all over you.
And then I'm gonna wink, just like into the ether.
Now, Ratley, you'll be fine on your own up here.
No, I think I will. I think I should go see my people. Are you going down now?
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the best we can.
How
here.
many sending stones do we have? Do you only have 5?
5.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, leaving one behind, but then we get in sticky situations potentially later on.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Sapperwolf.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I take mine out of my bag, and I say, this is a loan, but while we're down there, I want you to have this.
Oh. How's it work?
Hey guys,
Ah!
can you hear me?
Ah!
Over. So what you do, Ratley, you hold it up to your mouth and you go, do that.
He presses the blue swirl in the middle of the stone that lights up, just very faintly, and he goes,
Hello?
Ooh. And then you say hello or whatever you want to say, and then you go over,
Oh.
and then you stop pressing the button.
Oh, is that
and
not
it
how it
sends
works?
it.
okay, let me see, and you're hearing this all in your heads psychically.
Okay. This is Ratley. I'm the new king suddenly. Over.
And he releases it.
That was a great job, Ratley. I'm so proud of you. Over.
I can't hear it though, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Remember, it is for emergencies only, and it goes directly to our brains, so try not to overdo it there, pal.
Okay.
Yeah, like make sure you don't sleep with it in your bed, just in case you're like, I don't know, having like some sexes or something,
No,
and you
please.
accidentally butt dial us, because that would be really terrible.
It's very precious, as you may guess, given its features, so just please be careful with it. Please
Yeah.
don't lose it. Please don't break it. Just, this is so that what we're about to do is very dangerous, and
We just want to make sure
if
you're
you
okay.
get in trouble, you let us know, and we'll do the same.
Okay. I will. So you're really gonna go in there and try not to die horribly?
Yeah. And then
I
you'll
already
be,
told you,
Try.
then you'll
with
be
my
rid
last breath.
of Orpheus
Either-
and Krem.
What was that, Vandris?
I already told you, my sole purpose, right now, is bringing Orpheus to justice. And until my dying breath, that's my goal. So we are going.
Okay, well, there's got to be some way we can help you. I won't be able to have anyone come with you, but
Can you?
It's okay.
Well, first of all, we have to figure out this elevator.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that we'd be a lot more successful if we left Rodek with you to take care of the town. Bye, Rodek. It was so great having you with us for so long. We're
Now,
really
hold
gonna
on.
miss what?
Well done, lad. That was good.
What?
We need to take him with us. We can't leave him behind.
Okay, I'm gonna polymorph you
Into what?
into Gertie the pig.
It's a tougher spell DC now.
No.
I'm gonna pick him up. And I'm
Rodek,
gonna...
you feel your
I'm
form
now a
shrink,
pig. I
and
don't
you
need-
start
I'm not
squealing,
experiencing any of this.
and you're a tiny pig.
I'm a tiny little
Well, we're
teacup
doing
thing.
this again, it looks like. Okay. Well, we're definitely
No, show
taking
it
him
to
with
the
us.
camera. This is Rodek. He's Gertie the pig.
Ugh.
Now give her back.
Ugh. Ugh. I'm trying to get a better angle.
Okay, Gertie.
All right. That still doesn't solve our problem with the elevator. We still need to figure out how to work this, get around this magic. I believe, Ganji, do you have the ability to dispel magic? Is that something you think you might be able to do?
Maybe, but I'm not sure that's what we need. Maybe we need to try activating it or figuring out the way to activate it. Maybe it'll take us to him.
Are the stones in the platform aligned in any certain way, like north, south, east, west?
You take a look, make an investigation check.
14.
14. You take a look, and it seems to be that they are. You take a look outside. It doesn't seem that there is any kind of deliberate arrangement as far as cardinal directions go. They're just spaced evenly out, from what you can tell.
Do they look pushable?
I would say in the investigation, you tapped it. They don't seem to be pushable.
Okay.
I mean, they can't be like turned or anything either.
You said in the investigation we would have tapped it
You would have tapped it, I'd say, and found out that you can't.
and not died horribly from touching
Yeah.
it.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
With
I
that-
truly know nothing of magic, so I'm very confused as to what these stones may actually do. Clearly, they don't do what I thought they did.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Could we... Do we have any way of slowing our fall?
We could activate the lever again and just fall to our deaths.
Well, that's what I was thinking, except hopefully without the dying part.
We could all hold on to the rod and then hit the lever.
Yeah. The immovable rod.
Yeah, just keep, like, dropping down, like, 10 feet at a time.
Well, I mean, if it goes down, if what we think happens, we just all let go and use the platform.
Oh, I was thinking that the switch makes the platform go away entirely. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's true.
We could try that. That's not a bad idea.
I wonder what Rodak thinks. Rodak, what do you think we should do?
If we touch the stone, does it light up or do anything?
It is not. They're just gems.
Well, let's try the lever.
Rodak would like for us to hold on.
Ratley perks up and says, hold on. Now hold on. I actually have an idea for once.
Well, that's because you're the king.
You're a whole new man, Ratley.
I think I am. And he goes, takes his comb, and he shouts into it. Alright, I need whoever's down in the alchemy quarters to bring up anything that might be able to help my bloodthirsty mercenaries that are about to embark on their mission. Quickly! And it starts to reverberate through the whole keep. I feel like there's got to be something there.
It must be good to be the king.
Rodak would be pleased to hear that if he could comprehend. comment.
Gertie
You know,
starts
don't you keep-
oinking
oh, no, no.
happily.
No,
Oh no, you're a pig.
You can comprehend, I thought.
No,
I thought
no,
it was like,
no, we were wrong.
He keeps his personality, but not his intelligence.
No, I'm literally pig. No.
Yeah, he has the intelligence.
So he's just a really cautious.
We are
pig.
playing it wrong. I am literally a pig. I'm like not Rodak. I'm a pig.
You are so
That's awful.
cute.
You cease to exist during
Yep.
that time. That's
Yep.
that's some like
I
existential
won't have any
shit.
memories of it. Yep.
I love you so much, and I'm going to give you to Ratley as a present for becoming the new king of this ugly island.
And
You want
it
to
really
stay
just
here?
messed.
Why do you say that? It says it retains its alignment and personality.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
So
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
with that, probably about like 20-30 minutes
You can
pass,
remember
and you
time.
hear a
You're
knock
so
at the door.
dumb as a kid.
Two lockjaws carrying a large crate of kind of rattling glass files walk in, and they drop it and say, "Oh, for you, King Ratley the Righteous," and they quickly get out as they look between all of you warm bloods, and they're like, "Oh, it's the mercenaries, oh jeez," and they start walking away, and Ratley's like, "Oh, thank you, you've done well to you, King. I will treat you well." And there is a crate of what seem to be a bunch of different potions in them.
Do any of them look like slow fall potions?
Does it look like the crate that we lost from Forgus?
It does not. It looks
Ah!
it looks a little bit different, rattier, even rattier than what Forgus was able to put together. But there does seem to be some strange colored liquid. There seems to be 3 different. There seems to be 15 large vials, relatively large vials, and 5 of them are red. 5 of them are like this blue bubbling material, and another is this strange shimmering silver.
Well, we could feed them to Gertie and see what happens.
Do any of them have labels?
Nope.
Shit.
How many of each are there?
5 of each.
5 of each.
Are you hungry?
So it's red, blue, and what?
Red, blue, and silver.
Do the red ones look like healing potions?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, 90-20. 21.
21. They look pretty similar to healing potions that you guys have had.
I'm glad I used a natural 20 on recognizing a health pot.
In there.
Yeah. So, but can we tell what the other ones do?
If you took an hour, right, to identify?
Well, I think we probably could.
Probably.
Gertie's gonna be hanging out with us for about an hour, so we might as well just be looking at these potions.
And I'm gonna start tickling the belly of the pig.
It's either that or we try some.
You want to feed him too, Gertie? The good thing is, if it kills it, it just turns back into Rodak, so...
Yeah, but if it does something, mild, would we know? Would the pig be able to tell us what was happening?
Well, if it was like a levitation, then all of a sudden we'd have a floating pig. Ah!
Well, they also only have 5 of each. Though I guess if we do find out that they're floating or something, then you can fly down on your broom and the rest of us can take one.
Yeah. It's 1 head lighter than it was earlier, so I should be able to fly down.
What do you think, Avantris? Do we have the time to investigate?
Obviously, I'm going to say I'm going to err on the side of no every time, but I can't overrule the entire group if we think that that's the best course of action.
Well, let's take these potions with us. Let's use Annulin's immovable rod idea, test out the lever, see if that makes the elevator go down, then we don't need to worry about it. If it doesn't, if it makes it disappear, then we wait to see, then we can either throw the lever back and spend some of us an hour staring at bottles, and the others of us try to figure out the elevator.
Yeah, because the thing is, when Mei-chan pulled the thing down, it only pulled it down like halfway probably.
True.
It was sticking straight out, so maybe if you push it all the way against the wall, the elevator will go down.
Is there...
If an elevator were a word that I knew, or such a thing that existed, that's a possibility.
Magical elevator, yeah, probably. This is still fantasy. What was that?
Let's try it.
I'm a pig.
Well, before we do that, I'm gonna stop concentrating on this pig.
Well, I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know about that. If he's a pig, he'll take up less room on this platform, and that might be helpful.
Yeah, but I think he does know some things about stones, and so we've been wasting a lot of time that he could be doing that thing where he goes, well, hold on, and he starts looking around at the stones to see if there's anything interesting about them, and there never is.
Well, that's fair. It's never worked before, but there's a first time for everything.
Well, Gertie, I only knew you this second time for just a small, short amount of time, but at least we're not flying up like 500 feet into the air and dropping you to a miserable and very gory death. Goodbye.
Thanks for the follow, Kosa.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Sounds like
And then I'm going to undo my polymorph and let Rodak become
okay,
Rodak again. But I'm still holding on to
You
him.
have no memory of what has happened. You just kind of get the sense, oh, you were a pig again, as you kind of stumble onto the floor, splayed out.
Rodak, I'm going to make a promise to you that I probably won't keep, but I'm going to try. And it's that I will not polymorph you ever again. I just really missed Gertie, and I just wanted to see her again for a little bit, okay?
I'm sorry we're all so nonchalant about you being turned into a pig at this point, but
Did any
quite
of
frankly,
you do anything? Nobody stopped at
it's really just another day that ends in Y. I believe a wise man told me that once, and I apologize. I don't really know what to do about
Renly
it.
got us a bunch of potions. That's pretty helpful. Everyone take one of each color.
I would imagine if I were to be able to retain memories during that time with whatever intelligence score a pig might have, that there was no moral outrage about the fact that I was a pig.
Well, no, because you were really cute, and you were oinking around, and you pooped in my palm, and that was fun.
I mean, it's like...
We kind of figure it doesn't hurt, and you come back eventually.
Yeah. At the very most, it was an hour.
Well, you used a spell slot, so...
Yeah.
Let's
If a
hope we
spell
don't.
slot were a thing that happened.
Hey, Ratley.
Yeah.
I need a favor.
He's sitting on the throne trying to adjust his crown to get it fit. It's not really quite fitting right.
That crown's looking good on you, buddy. I like it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, it feels good.
When we first arrived here on the island, we landed on a beach that was, I believe, north of Gangplank, on a spectral ship. It was a very long, crazy story. But essentially, I may have misplaced a crate of some precious materials, namely liquids in jars and things. And I was wondering if you could send a crew out to comb the beach on the shore and see if you could recover that potion, a box of things. And by no means are you to open or consume anything that's in that box, because the person who gave it to me is a little off.
Okay, I'll send the crew out after you guys go down.
Yeah, if you can't find it, no big deal. But if you do find it, be extra careful with it. It could potentially be volatile.
Okay, I'll send some disposable. I mean, no, I'm not that kind of king. There are no disposable crooks. I'll make sure they wear safety gear and are very cautious.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Lever time?
Yep.
And just in case, I'm gonna bring out the immovable rod and be ready to click it if anything happens.
Did I miss anything else?
Like what?
Oh, and I've taken one of each potion,
Okay.
by the way. I was kind of assuming we would all do that.
Go ahead, do yours.
Does everyone
Yeah,
want
we can
one
split
of
them
each?
up. I think that's
Okay.
wise.
One of each color for everyone.
Do we know what these
Oh, I
are?
think you meant you took the potion.
Radley, well, Radley wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Well,
What were the colors
I'll
again?
take
Red,
one of
silver, and
each.
what?
Blue. Like almost a purplish blue. Like an indigo.
Okay.
All right, Radley, or not Radley? Rodek, other R name. Do you want to hit that switch? Pull it down.
I have to hit the switch now. I was just a pig. So are we planning? Are we hoping that this takes us down? Did I
Yeah.
miss something?
Yeah. Pretty
Well,
much.
before you go,
Radley hops off the throne. He puts the crown aside because it's wobbling too much.
I hope you all survive, but in the likely event that Orpheus kills you all, we're probably next. So I hope you survive, and I just want to thank you for giving me the strength and the courage to be the king that my people deserve.
Thank you for helping us. You were integral
Don't
to
worry.
what happened.
We haven't died yet, and we don't plan on dying anytime soon, and Orpheus isn't going to change that.
Good luck.
He does an awkward salute. And
You've done an incredibly noble thing for your people today. And I just want you to remember that. And like I said earlier, history has its eyes on you. So hopefully we won't fail. And even if we do what you can to stop Orpheus in our stead.
We'll do everything we can. Thank you, and I'll look for those jars.
Okay.
You're gonna be great, Ratley.
Well, thank you. I think it'll take some getting used to for us to be free, and freedom isn't the easiest thing, but I think we'll figure it out.
We've got a lot of diamonds to help you with that, so.
That's true.
Yeah. Diamonds.
We'll reopen the mines, but just not with backbreaking slave labor. It'll be real jobs.
That's a good idea.
Speaking of which, how many diamonds do you have?
A lot.
Alright, never mind.
Okay.
I have to actually answer your question. I have 900 900 gold worth of diamond dust and 10 rough diamonds.
So that's like plenty.
Yeah, it's enough to res at least 3 of us.
Okay.
So
Alright.
Okay.
If I knew that.
if you do that, if I had to guess, if I did judge how much diamonds I have, that's how much.
Well, shall we?
That's now no time like the present.
okay,
I pull the lever down.
Rodek, you pull the lever and you hear as your feet start rumbling, and all of a sudden, as the platform starts to lower, and Ratley you see waving at you.
Don't die!
as you go deeper and deeper, as the flickering torchlight from King or Ratley's private quarters now fade away as you see smooth stone all around you as you make your way down from the keep. It's just going all around. All of a sudden, the space around you opens up from a tight, narrow corridor to a subterranean cavern. As you drop below the keep into the volcano, and you notice that one side of the elevator seems to be sliding down a smooth slot bored deep into the earth, as you see caverns around you that look to be similar to the mines that you had spent a lot of time in. And these also seem to be rich with ore and diamonds all along. There seems to be nothing really glinting because it's just so absolutely dark. But those of you with dark vision are able to just see very, very faintly the diamond-rich walls of this cavern. And you sink lower and lower and lower. You are riding this deeper and deeper into the earth. And it takes probably a good 15-20 minutes as you're riding. And you go from periods of a tunnel, a vertical tunnel no bigger than the elevator platform that you're on, to relatively large chambers. And as you get deeper and deeper, you start to feel your skin feel a little bit of heat. And as you pass one portion of a very tight, almost claustrophobic tunnel, and all of a sudden you drop down, and the bright glow of red and orange and yellow emanates as the heat hits your skin, as you see pockets, very faint, far pockets of magma, as you go deeper and deeper into this volcano. And once again, the chamber of all of these pockets of magma disappear as you go back down, and the heat intensifies. You start to sweat as you go down, and then all of a sudden the passage opens up a little bit into a very small, dark cavern, and it stops on solid ground.
I just want to turn to the rest of the group while we're taking our elevated journey and say, all right, guys, we've been on this journey for several months now, and I want to say, I want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart. I feel like we've made some good friends along the way, and I couldn't have done it without your support, and I've honestly never struggled to capture a mark like this before, and I think by taking this job, I've way in over my head, and I definitely could not have done it alone. So whatever lies before us, I appreciate all of the support that you gave me, and when we finally bring Orpheus to justice, we're going to be rewarded handsomely, and I appreciate the help.
Well, thank you, lad. This did start all for you. Orpheus was you just wanted his head for money, and it happened to work out that we were all going to the same place. But I think it's clear now that there's far more danger than simply a mark, and I think that we can all agree that at this point, we all want to stop him for just the good of the world, so...
Well, I want to stop him because Titania said, Sylvie, you need to stop Orpheus, essentially. But also because I really care about all of you guys. Even when I turn you into pigs. Well, especially when I turn you into pigs. And especially when I'm giving you googly eyes. And I think what you said is really true. And that we should think about that right now, because we're about to go into something what I imagine to be incredibly dangerous. And though I know that Avantris is never scared, 9 times out of 10, I'm scared enough for the both of us. So, if any of you die, I will miss you as I'm flying out of here on my broomstick to save my own skin. Unless I
We expect
die.
nothing less.
My one regret is I just didn't have time to scribe the Raise Dead spell into a scroll in case I die.
I wonder what happened to that woman, Pearl, who's probably still waiting in Gull Haven. I wonder if she thinks about me at all.
Yeah, I wonder if that tiefling girlfriend that you had still misses her boat.
Oh, that's, well, she'll probably be happy if I die, so we'll see. My plan was maybe to donate the incredible folding boat to her if I could potentially make amends. But we're not going to worry about that right now. I was more worried about Pearl.
Well, maybe she'll feel better if, when you die to Orpheus, if I'm wearing your right arm around my neck on a chain and I bring her your left arm.
Yeah, and maybe the boat too. If I die, just salvage my body and donate the rest of it to Seamus and Amiria.
And if I die, I want you guys to have my broom. And the password, which you all know, is salmon. So I want you to take it and I want you to just throw my body into the air and just let me, I don't know, turn into a fairy or something. Because that's what happens, right, Ganji? You're a cleric, you know.
That checks out with my theology.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, just do that.
I don't like all this death talk.
But that's because we're probably going to die. What do you want
No,
us to
we're
do
not.
when you die?
We're not
Do you
going
want
to
us
die.
to go, hold on?
No, we're going to have, the second we get a lay of the land and we understand what we're up against, we'll execute a plan and we'll kill Orpheus. That's what we'll do.
Agreed.
Okay.
And Avantris, was Pearl that random elf girl that you took to the masquerade?
Yeah, duh.
She was lovely.
Yeah, she's really
Alright,
nice.
well,
She seemed quite smitten.
as we face our mortal demise, possibly, that's who you think of? Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I just like to think of all the people we met, and as much as I care about, Seamus and Amiria certainly doesn't care about me any longer, and I'm not sure I can repair that relationship. So I don't know. We'll see. It seems like I got a lot of promises to keep. I don't intend on dying here. We're gonna take care of Seamus, and we're gonna get out of here.
Well, let's get on it then.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, before you... Actually, hold on.
Oh, should I
Yeah.
move this
Yeah,
guy?
move that real quick.
This is going to be a little trickier to maneuver.
Truckier.
Oh, can you get the minis?
You look around.
I don't think I can reach them. Where are they? No, I'm not going to
Okay.
reach them. Put them on the other side.
I'm listening.
After having this conversation, you finally take the chance to look around. All of you are sweating. I guess a dragonborn sweat. I assume they do. And it is very, very hot. But you think that you could handle it at least here. There seems to be a very tight chamber. You see the column of board nothingness away from the stone above you. And directly in front of you is a large stone door. It seems to be marked all around with strange, chaotic-looking markings and runes. And at the center is an indent carved to a point. As above, it says, "Only come in if you have the goods."
Have the what?
The goods.
This isn't common, like written above the door? What does that mean?
Diamonds?
Could you use your wand again?
Sure. So I'll use my detect magic wand on the door.
Okay. You detect, and it's glowing blue all over it.
Transmutation again?
Yeah.
I think I might be fast enough to just jump right through it.
No, lad, you're not going to try that.
So the indentation is just is a small thing about this big. And it's just probably a couple inches into, not even, like a couple inches into the...
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by indentation? So there's a door in front of us.
Door in front, and then it seems to be smooth. besides the runes, and then at the very center, seems to be almost a circular pattern, is a carved little indentation to the door, several inches in.
What shape is the indentation?
It seems to be almost like a pyramid shape.
Do we have anything that would fit in this?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Unless it's literally just a dime.
Could you check it for traps, Avantris?
You know it. Eyes of minute seeing, and I'm going to investigate the door to the best of my ability. That feel when you roll 2 2s. Good thing my investigation is an 11, so I got a 13.
A 13.
Yep.
You look all over the door, and you're familiar with the architecture in King Krem's Keep. This does not seem to be the same. But for the life of you, you don't seem to notice any kind of trap.
Well, I can't say that I see anything, but that's definitely bit me in the ass before, so proceed with caution, I presume.
Oh, and I want everyone to just take inspiration, just for beating Krem and establishing Ratley. That was a good plan.
Good job, team.
Well, why don't we try to push the door open with Mage Hand?
Okay.
So I'll try and push the door with Mage Hand.
Just does not budge.
Is there any kind of handle or anything on it? But nothing happened when he touched it.
No.
When the Mage Hand.
Mage Hand, nothing happened.
I go up
you
and
assume his finger?
her hand. Their hand. I touch the door.
Okay. You touch the door. It feels very hot. You immediately would withdraw your hand away, as it's just it's even hotter than the air around you, as you almost get burned. Your leathery dwarven skin prevents that from gripping your axe, and you have crazy large calluses, but it is incredibly hot.
But no kind of magical effect.
Nothing happened to you.
Well, it's not a cursed door, at least not yet. But it looks like we need to find the goods to insert in here.
Well, we're down here now, and I don't necessarily know that we're going back, right?
Can I just investigate around the room that we're in, see if I notice anything?
Make an investigation check.
Choose you. 18.
18. You look around the room. There seems to be the door, the pathway up. You do notice that there is a similar lever at the bottom of this, but it's pointed vertically.
Well, there's the lever to go back up, it looks like, but...
Not vertically, horizontally. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
I knew what you meant.
Thanks.
You did the arm thing.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Yeah, just the lever to go up, so... Unless anyone has their very own personal pyramid, I think that we're just gonna... sleep here.
The rough diamonds that I have,
Yeah.
they're not pyramid shapes, obviously.
Pull them out, make an investigation check.
It's gonna be a 12.
You find that most of them aren't, but you actually find about 2 or 3 that are kind of roughly in the shape of a tipped with a pyramid shape. They kind of come to a point.
That look like
Yeah.
they could fit in.
Yeah, you see.
Well,
Worth a shot.
do we try?
We're not getting any further if we don't.
Go on.
Alright, I try putting it in the indentation.
You pull the diamond out of your pack and you slowly slide it in. As soon as it doesn't really fit perfectly, but as soon as it reaches the back, it glows with a white light and whoosh, shatters as the door slides open. And as soon as it even raises an inch, the blast of hot air assaults your skin. As it rises up, you see a glowing red, orangey light coming out from beneath beneath the door, and it slides open, and you see a about a 10-foot wide passage through the stone that has a smooth floor carved into this volcano that curves off to the, doesn't matter, but, and this is not the scale, curves off to the right, and you see just glowing, radiating orange and red light.
What do we know what the potions do yet?
I'll say, Ganji, you're probably investigating them as soon as you got them. So the red potion is a potion of greater healing. The blue potion is a potion of resistance, and the silver potion is a potion of heroism. I don't have cards for you, but
resistance, as in fire resistance.
You'll drink it. I'll roll d10, and that will determine what you resist.
What was the silver one?
The silver one is a potion of heroism. You, for 1 hour, you gain 10 temporary hit points, and you are affected by the bless spell without having to concentrate on it.
Oh.
Hashtag blessed, baby.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag
Too blessed to be too stressed to be blessed. Too blessed to be stressed.
All right, so we can take our chance. These resistance pots might help, but I think the magic in them is chaotic and random, and I don't think we can guarantee that it will do what we want. Or we could just go ahead.
It's not like if you roll like a 1, you just die horribly.
No, I know. It just might not help us necessarily.
I would say let's go on. No, go on.
I was just gonna say, as soon as the door comes up and I saw like the heat and the fire, I'm just gonna get like visibly like scared and nervous.
You see Aeon, she's visibly shaken, as you probably have an idea. It feels and looks similar to the glow of the magma. And by the way, stream, if there's any science nerds, I know you're right, lava, convection, I know that this is all silly, but it's fantasy, so we're going
We would have been cooked instantly.
You would have been cooked instantly. It doesn't give off light, but we're going with fantasy lava. It's not red Kool-Aid.
Disbelief.
To be fair, I also make magic hammers come out of the ground and hit people and shoot fire and shit like that, so you know.
Science nerds, you're totally right, but I'm just full disclaimer, this is fantasy lava and magma, so just want to clear that up.
Well, this is not good. I'm not sure how much or how long we can last down here.
Agreed.
So, let's make haste.
Sorry, I'm sleepy again.
Didn't we just wake up?
Yep.
Well, Avantris, this is your moment. Would you like to lead the way?
I suppose so. I don't mind, but we need to move quickly. I'm not liking this temperature. This is not my ideal setting.
Well, go on.
Let's move quickly.
Okay. So,
quietly.
Van, roll stealth.
I'm bronze, by the way, so not fire, unfortunately.
Of all, like literally half of the Dragonborn are resistant to fire, and you are not.
I'm not one of them. The resistance to lightning has been useful in the past.
No, it has been. No.
32.
32? Stealth? Oh. So,
Are we all
just
stealthing?
Van.
We're all stealthing.
I'm going.
We're
I mean, unless I'm going to, after my heartfelt speech, you're going to go send me off to fight Orpheus by myself.
That sounds fun. I'm only going to get an 8, though.
An 8? Okay.
A 15.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
27.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, Vandris, you lead the way, and every step that you take gets even hotter and hotter as you feel like you're in almost like you're in an oven, because there's a little bit of convection here. It's basically as dangerous as I need it to be. and you lead the group around the corner, and the glowing pools of magma before you illuminate a chamber. A large chamber that has a path forward, but large pools of lava, of magma rather, on either side of you. They are radiating with just blazing heat. You can see the air rising directly above, off of that shimmering glow. directly above you is a path. It seems to be made of stone, but crafted. There seem to be large, smooth bricks that pierce through this chamber of magma, and directly in your path is a huge statue. One leg on either side, and you have to pass beneath the legs of this statue. It is a humanoid shape in a large cloak built out of this dark, ashy gray stone with two arms placed up on either side. A head back adorned in jewelry and a beautiful crown and beautiful belt buckle and beautiful boots, all emblazoned with gold and gems. And you see the familiar face of Orpheus Rhadamanthus in enormous statue form, but completely adorned in beautiful gold and jewelry. And
so the statue is all
covered.
gold.
Yeah. And
I am really looking forward to slaying this bastard.
I worry about going between his legs.
Yeah, you can
That's
tell
what
it
they
me
all
now.
say.
I've already been farted on by stone once today. What's the second time?
So these are his legs, I'm guessing.
yeah, you can see his. Although it's kind of far vanished, you can see this a little bit better. The glow of the lava is illuminating his face, as you see the eyes are wide back in glee, and he's doing the most smug, confident smirk that you could possibly muster, carved into his face, and the skin is perfect. His outfit is even nicer than you've known it to be when in person.
All right, I guess we should just proceed with caution here and try to, as quickly as possible, get past the statue. I'm always eerie of things that could potentially come to life.
And I would like to... Sylvie's one should still be active. It's 10 minutes, right? How long is it?
10 minutes.
Well, it took us like 20 minutes down the elevator shaft.
She cast it again to look at the door.
Oh,
though.
you reused it. That's right.
Yeah. Well, why don't we go on and take a look?
Okay.
All right, I'll lead the way.
So you make your way, and so you're just gonna kind of wave the wand along his legs.
Yeah.
Just like along the path as
So
we go.
you walk forward and you see this looming statue of Orpheus in this dark gray stone. As you approach it, and it's just towering. Its head, the crown on top of his head is only probably 6 feet away from the top of this chamber. And you're waving your wand, and you don't all over his ankles, really, basically, is all that's coming out of the lava or the magma, and his legs, and it's not glowing of any kind of blue.
I bet he's got blue balls, but all I can reach are his ankles.
Hey, yo.
Well, let's proceed.
Wait, I didn't know that we should just walk right through this. Is there like any pebbles on the ground or anything that we could toss through?
Or like a hobo that's drunkenly sitting next to a building somewhere.
I thought we all agreed we wouldn't talk about
Volcanoes?
that anymore.
Wait, talk about what?
Don't worry about it. I grab a pebble on the ground and I throw it
You
through.
look around, and there are not any pebbles. This pathway is completely smooth.
I'd like to take a coin out of my satchel and toss it through.
You grab a copper coin, you toss it through, it sails between his legs and clatters on the other side.
Cheap.
All right, I'm going.
Okay? You, Vandris,
I wait to see what happens.
step through, and as you walk over, you feel the looming presence of Orpheus above you, his crotch. You try not to look up to see what he carved that to be like. And as you step through and you emerge on the other side, nothing happens.
All the way through.
Yeah,
Same
I'll go
thing.
through as well.
Same thing.
Okay. Well,
Annulin, salute. Okay.
I'm gonna still looking scared. I'm gonna kind of tug on the back of Sylvie's shirt and follow her through.
you're doing like the thing where you're really scared, and Sylvie's guiding you, and you but all make it through his legs.
You know, I'm not surprised that Orpheus would be one to erect this purely out of vanity.
Yeah, he's probably laughing at us right now.
Well,
let's continue.
All right.
So you approach, and there is another heavy stone door directly in front of you, similar style. However, at the base of this door is a large stone platform. Huge. It almost comes out from the entire length of the door, and comes probably a good 8 feet away from the door at the base. But built in, it seems to be covered in the same style of chaotic markings and runes, similar to the style that you had seen in his circles that he had made of his strange alchemical reagents or whatever he was doing. And above that, it says, "Bring me true beauty." In common.
All right, everyone, take a step back. I've got this. I'm kidding. I'm not touching that door. I'll die.
So it's a pedestal, like a round pedestal?
Yeah, it's a round pedestal that comes out probably a good 8 feet around this door. But you can see kind of similar on the pedestal and all along the door are those chaotic runes, and then in a similar style in common. Above it says,
"Thanks for the
hey,
follow,
Captain Ravenous,
Captain
thank you.
Hello.
It's great to have you, man. Or woman, sorry.
So, are there any, when we were looking at the statue, were there any of the jewels on it that seemed particularly prominent?
They all seemed very prominent. You notice that like at the tops of his boots were these beautiful buckles. His belt was basically a gaudy golden insignia. He had bracelets, rings, necklaces, and a crown.
Okay. And so is there another indentation on this one? On this door?
Where the diamond was, there's not.
Okay.
Nothing in the pedestal?
The pedestal is just a solid pedestal.
Is there anything on the statue that looks like it could be removed and placed on the pedestal?
Make an intelligence check.
It's going to be a 10.
You get the sense that as you look at the statue, you think that you might, like, that the jewelry might be able to be removed. It seems to be fastened to the statue, but it does not seem to be that sturdy.
Does anyone want to try getting some jewelry off that statue and putting it on the pedestal? We know he's vain, and true beauty might be something that came from him.
Well, Roderick, you're the one that's the best at stonework. Could you carve his balls off and put them on the pedestal?
Well, I'm worried that I take a copper out of my pack and I put it on the pedestal.
You put it on the pedestal, lands with a clink. Nothing happens. There's just a copper piece on the pedestal.
I'm gonna pick up my copper piece, by the way.
You grabbed it. It was starting to melt on the stone floor. Not really, but like it's really hot, and you feel that oppressive heat.
So I have a feeling that this pedestal probably isn't like a laser death pedestal.
A what?
A laser death pedestal.
Oh. I don't know what a laser is.
But
It must be a dwarf thing.
I have an idea. When you mentioned vanity, it made me think.
No, I said vanity.
Vanity?
I don't know who Vanity is. Are they related to manatees?
Probably. Sylvie, you've embellished Orpheus's vanity a few times in the past few days.
I don't know what that means.
You've turned into Orpheus and appeared as
Yeah, I
him.
don't think that's what embellishing means.
Why don't you use your hat of disguise, turn into Orpheus, and try to step on the pedestal?
That's not a bad idea.
Okay.
I like it.
So I'll use my hat of disguise, turn into Orpheus, and stuff on the pedestal.
You channel your hat, and before you is about a 4 foot tall Orpheus. And but you know, everything just shrunk down.
I want it to look exactly like the statue.
It looks even more
Like
elaborate.
with the crown and everything. on
but
top
probably
of
his
that.
proper is dark purple skin, probably, and the red, the black and red eyes. And by the way, Orpheus existed like 2 years before Mollymock, so no one say anything. No one say anything.
We've
And
been hunting him since the beginning.
yeah. You step on to the pedestal and looking proud and mighty, doing the same pose. Nothing happens.
I like this though, so I'm fine here.
That was a good.
It was worth a
Yeah.
shot. Only true. What was it? Only
Bring
true.
me true beauty.
Bring me true beauty.
What does Orpheus think is beautiful, aside from himself?
Wait.
Power.
Do you remember what Ophelia looks like?
Yeah, of course, she yelled at me for a long time and then kicked me out of her establishment.
Do we have any connection to... She's a purple tiefling, right?
No,
Right.
she was red.
Oh. Okay. Well,
You're
then I prob-
metagaming, and that was
Right.
totally unlit. That was
Okay, that's what I thought.
that was just additional.
Okay.
That was a reference.
I can remember if we knew that there was
Yeah.
a connection or whatever. So, what would Orpheus consider true beauty?
I don't know. Vandris, this is really more your thing than mine, to be quite honest with you, because you're the only one that knows much about him at all.
Well, again, to be fair, I think that we all kind of know as much as we know together, right? I mean, I certainly didn't know him before I knew you guys. You know, my idea of Orpheus is, again, true beauty is would be something either himself, which was a great idea, or again, he would value power among all other things. Maybe he thinks power is beautiful. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, I know what I think is the most beautiful thing, and so I'm gonna activate my hat again, use an action to do that, and I'm gonna turn myself into the image of what I saw as Titania,
Okay.
and then just be on the
Holy
pedestal.
shit!
Are we even able to gaze upon it, or like our eyes would burst into flame?
So Sylvie shifts into once again a 4-foot tall, radiating. Can it like do like crazy magic? So like an approximation of almost this unseeable shadow of this beautiful, perfect female shape in radiating, glowing pink and purple light.
Ah, my eye!
Lady Titania, Queen of the Fae, Summer Court, please forgive me for taking on your image, but I think you're so pretty and I just love you so much.
And then I do the pose Orpheus did.
You do the pose, and there's this little mini Sylvan-looking figure doing a pose.
Well, it didn't work, so I have to not do this because she might get mad, and so I...
Now,
Okay.
thinking through this, I feel it's got to be something that the crooks could have used or presented to get
None
through.
of them are smart enough to figure out riddles.
And he didn't want any of them coming in here.
This was solely for someone he trusted to get in. There's no way that even King Krem could have figured this stuff out.
Right.
Man, I am truly at a loss here.
Vandris, why don't you take a step on?
Okay, if that door opens when I step on it, I'm gonna have some serious questions for Orpheus when we finally meet him.
And also for God, so, you know.
I'm gonna be flattered, but I'm gonna have some serious questions.
Go on, lad.
If this is the last thing that I ever do or say, and that pedestal kills me, I'm gonna haunt the hell out of all of you.
That's okay. You'll be one arm short in your ghostly form.
All right, let me prepare and think about this for just one moment before I do anything crazy.
Maybe you should put on a disguise first. Your disguises are really beautiful.
Truly.
Thank you. I know you mean that from the bottom of your heart, and you would never lie about something like that, Genji.
And
All right, I step onto the pedestal.
Okay, you take a step up onto the pedestal and you present yourself. Nothing happens.
Damn it. I'm almost relieved and simultaneously disappointed.
Well, now, I wasn't thinking that he would think you're literally beautiful, but I thought maybe, like, the weird, like, nemesis thing you two have going on, maybe that was beautiful to him.
Maybe.
I agree. It is beautiful.
Maybe it's the death of Avantris. So what if you play dead like an opossum?
That's fine.
I proceed to lie on the ground and do my best performance of Dead Avantris. It's very dramatic. I clutch at my throat and my heart, and I yell things that would be just...
Roll a performance check.
I got a 7.
It's the most embarrassing overacting you've ever seen. And
you're in a group
Avantris lays on his back, sprawled out, playing possum. Nothing happens.
I want to look at the runes closer to see if there's any kind of pattern or any shapes that I may recognize at all.
How tall is the statue? It's like real big.
It's real big.
So like none of the gems are feasible to even be able to get down off of it.
Well, I already asked that, and he said, yeah.
Well, no, he was saying they look like they could be removed, but if it's as big as that, there's no way any of us could carry any of the jewelry. They'd be bigger than me.
I mean, the crown would probably be like, yay big. And, the bracelets would probably be, this big. Like a big old necklace, with a gemstone about yay big and like rings.
If he has a ring we could get off, we could carry that.
What's the most, grand, beautiful-looking gem on there?
Make a perception check.
10.
10. From what you can tell, probably the brilliant gem in the crown that he's wearing. You notice that it is a 5-pointed crown, 4 smaller gems, and a huge gemstone in the center.
I'm gonna take some cloth and wrap it around my hands and try to scale up the statue and get the gem off.
Okay. So you put some cloth around your hands and you start scaling. I need you to make a con saving throw.
And as she's doing this, I want to fly up alongside her on the broom, chanting and cheering at her.
Okay, so you're chanting and cheering, and then I need you to make an athletics check as well for climbing.
You can do it! Yeah, climb it, girl. You got this, Annulin.
Con is 22.
Okay, so you feel the heat of this statue. It is unlike anything that you've touched previously. It is incredibly hot, and you feel like it should be burning you, but you're just barely resisting being burned. And
athletics is a 16.
16. Okay, so you climb and climb and climb, and you've managed to find points. There are ripples and folds in his carved clothing in the statue that make it relatively easier than you thought in order to climb up there. And you arrive to his head, that big, I guess you're kind of climbing it from the back, so you see the huge mane of hair that he has, perfectly sculpted, and you see the crown on his head.
Okay, I'm gonna just try to pry the largest gem out.
Okay, so you take your, or were you gonna use to try to do that?
I guess maybe would a dagger be able to
okay.
Go under the rib?
So it's like the old 2E removing the Moloch statue eye with the knife. So you get to his head and you pull out your dagger. You kind of shimmy around his face, and you grab the top of the crown and stick in your knife into the gem. And all of a sudden, you feel yourself move, and you, as all of you hear this shaking of stone as the two hands come down. And Annulin, you make a quick perception check for me.
Oh boy. Did I find any patterns in the runes while all this was happening?
10.
10. You unfortunately notice too late as...
What about me? I'm there with her on my broom.
Okay, perception check.
17.
17. I'll say that you're able to call out. So Sylvie, what you see is you start to see the top of the statue where the hair is meeting his skull start to ignite a little bit, and is going to
you just
an
Aladdin
instant.
me, didn't you?
An instant.
So, could I do something like a dex to just kind of like, because I'm literally like right next to her, just cheering her on. I was just kind of like trying to patronize her.
Okay.
I just happened to be there.
Okay.
So would I be able to like grab her?
Okay. Make a just a straight dex check.
15.
Okay. So as soon as you're trying to pry it out, the stone moves underneath you, and you're so surprised by. Hold on. Why don't we get into some exciting? We haven't had battle in a long time.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Oh, I mean, no, it's the friendly giant statue of the villain you're trying to kill here.
Well, shite.
Sylvie notices and just instinctually flies forward and grabs you as the hair on his head ignites, and this fiery mane of hair as you look, as Sylvie pulls you onto her broom, as you see both eyes ignite into fire, and the stone statue, magma is pouring off of his boots with each step that he takes. And I'm going to need everyone to roll for initiative. Oh, but, Anulin, you're going to take half of this in fire damage. Sylvie saved you. You're going to take half of 8. So you're going to take 4 points of fire damage. You get the sense that this would have done a good cooking had Sylvie not been there. And you are flying away. Sylvie manages to kind of slump you over the broom as this enormous statue of Orpheus is looking on with some kind of sense of recognition.
Is the whole thing on fire?
Just his hair.
Okay.
And he's got magma pouring from his feet.
And I'm assuming I didn't get that gem.
You did not.
Oh shit.
So I need initiative rolls. Let me.
21 for me.
Okay. Hold on. Let me.
Put your hand behind it if you want it to focus. If the camera's focused on skin.
21 for Ganji. 15 to 20.
I got a 23.
Oh.
Shit.
Okay. 15 to 20. Anybody?
We'll get the idea.
Wrong, but
I got a 18 or 19. Sorry.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Oh wow. Vandris, what do you got?
I got a 13. I'm not rolling well.
Ooh.
Okay, so this huge, slow stone statue of Orpheus. The interesting thing is that it keeps that smug grin as its eyes light up and seems to notice you, but its face, its expression, remains completely still as it is.
So where is
turned-
everybody?
What was that?
I'm I guess investigating the ruins still.
Yeah, so I'm going to
So
say that
everyone should be by the door except for me
Except
and
Anulin
Anulin,
and
no.
Sylvie, I'll say, are right here on the broom. And Anulin, we'll say that you're like kind of prone over the side of the broom after Sylvie kind of threw you up there. And with that, it is Anulin's turn.
Okay, so I guess I'll try to right myself on the broom, and so I'm going to
You use your movement to kind of get behind Sylvie and hold on tight.
I'm gonna say, Sylvie, we gotta get away from this thing, and I'm gonna just try to fire off 2 arrows quick and see if it even affects this large of a guy.
I'll say you can do that. Your bow is at the ready, and so you get your free interaction. But you'll have to make both attacks a disadvantage because you're kind of pulling yourself up.
It was
here
from a
with
while
this.
ago.
So first one, I got a natty 20 and a 17. So
Whoa! Okay.
wasted natty 20. So a 27 to hit on the first one. and
27
on the
hits?
second one. Yep. 13 on the second.
13 on the second. Okay. The 13. you land the first arrow, and all of a sudden the broom kind of tilts as the shift in weight as you're kind of steadying yourself, and the other arrow flies off into the side of the cave. And can you roll damage for me?
Actually, I forgot my thing went up. It would have been a 14. Does that change anything?
Does not change anything.
So damage would be 12.
Okay. So the arrow, you aim somewhere that isn't ignited, and you fire in. It sinks in a little bit, but not chipping away as much as you were hoping. Okay. Genji, you're up.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have that scroll of Maelstrom.
Yep.
And I think the rule was if I had the spells of the same level that it was, then I could cast it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do now, newly. So I'm going to read it.
Okay.
And cast Maelstrom, which creates a massive 5-foot deep water that appears and swirls in a 30-foot radius centered on a point you can see within range, which I'm going to aim basically like a step behind him.
Okay.
Basically such that when he gets, if he makes a strength saving throw and gets pulled 10 feet to the center, well, actually no, I'm going to put it basically centered on him.
Okay.
Because it makes the ground around him difficult terrain.
Oh,
It's 5-foot deep water in a 30-foot radius around him. And on his turn, he has to succeed on a strength saving throw or take 66 bludgeoning damage and be pulled 10 feet towards the center.
Okay.
Shit.
And it's water, so this seems like a fiery kind of guy, so my hope was to, like, the magma coming out of his shoes to, like, cool that with the magical water and, like, freeze him in place, but that's obviously
It's
not.
super effective.
That's not the spell description, so I'll let the DM
Okay.
roll on that, but that's my action.
Okay. So you are just for the Maelstrom, you're able to cast it, right?
I believe so, because
Okay.
I'm reading this scroll,
Okay.
and
So you fumble around and you grab the scroll of Maelstrom, which I think you got from the Children of the Sea, and you start chanting in this strange language, and all of a sudden, water emerges out of this swirling blue energy. It kind of a little crackling of blue energy. All of a sudden, water starts gushing out of it, and a whirlpool, massive whirlpool of water coming out of nowhere, starts swirling around and around the statue. As it starts to swirl, steam is coming off the magma, just filling the chamber. As you start to notice, the bright red magma starts to cool into this hard black stone all around him. And what I gotta roll?
it's a strength. Well, it's on the start of his turn.
Okay.
But it'll be a strength saving throw where he takes 66 bludgeoning damage and is pulled 10 feet towards the center.
Okay, so this is raging whirlpool is circling all around him as it's starting to cool all the magma around him. Okay. Rodek, you're up.
All right. Well,
Sorry to do that to our melee friends, but I have a feeling we don't want to let him get close to us. So if you have range, I suggest now's the time.
I'm gonna shout, "Bring him to the pedestal!" And first of all, did I glean anything from the runes at all?
You glean from the runes. You're not a. You get the sense that it was carved, chiseled by hand. But what they mean, you're not. You're a fighter. You're not particular in magic. You do recognize they seem to be similar styles to the style that you saw Orpheus use previously.
Well, I guess I will. Well, I guess you guys are in the air, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna step out here.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna ready an attack.
Okay.
So I guess I get a free object interaction.
Yes.
So I got my new sword. I'm trying to think what I have had.
Shot clock.
What's that? Okay.
Shot
So anyway, so I'm going to ready an attack if he approaches.
Okay. You heave King Krem's sword now that you've gotten the sense of how it works and you're ready to attack him. Okay.
What's that sword do?
Sylvia, you're up.
I'm going to use my movement to get us back, because we're on the broom, to get us back to... Oh my god. I'm going to use my movement to get us back to the group, so that so we can be landed.
You fly the broom and you drop yourself and Annulin off.
I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Hex at first level.
Okay.
So it's only good for an hour.
Of the summer court onto this flaming statue of Orpheus.
And then I am going to throw 2 Eldritch or Glitter Lamps this action. So 28 and 26.
28 and 26 both hit. You raise your ruby-tipped wayward soul, and both arcs of glitter lance hit this statue in the chest.
20 points of damage.
20 points of damage. And this seems, you start to see fragments being blasted off of the torso of this statue. Okay. Avantris, you're up.
I don't know how we fight this thing.
Does Lily's doing damage?
Yeah, it looks like it's doing damage.
I don't want to get too close to the whirlpool. So how far out does the whirlpool go?
30 feet.
In every direction?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you put it. Where do you put it?
I centered it on him.
Okay.
Well, then I can move up like next to Rodek, and that's about as close as we can get.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to get dragged in, right? I'm assuming it would affect me if I got too close.
If you start your turn
It's
there,
it's like here. So let me just make a note.
Wait, if I start my turn there?
Mm-hmm. You'd have to get in and get out, and it's difficult terrain.
So if I hit him, I can disengage for free. I get no opportunity attack. So the question is, do I have enough movement with my bonus action being a dash to get in and get out?
When you get sucked in by the whirlpool?
It's only if you, this says only if you start your turn there.
We'll say that's fine.
I don't know if that's cheesy or not.
So it's still 5 feet of water, so...
It's difficult
that's
terrain.
why it's difficult terrain.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go to the edge of the whirlpool and give him one of these.
Okay. You push past all your allies and just stand holding Venom's spine, and you beckon it to come on. Okay. It's its turn, and as it's the whirlpool, the maelstrom is swirling all around. Water's lashing at. What do I have to make?
DC 16 strength save.
How much does it take?
66. Let me roll.
66. So you see that it seems to be surprised for what a construct, how surprised a construct can be with this sudden
25.
swirling water around it. As it gets knocked to the side, it stumbles down as the magma is cooling all around its feet. How much damage again?
26.
Okay. It stumbles down. The water is eroding it and knocking off pieces of it. And it is going to, as it notices that the magma's cooled around both of its feet, it's going to try to move and try to break itself free. And it is completely stuck in place as it's trying to get itself out. As it does, however, look at Avantris and his beckoning motion, and it leans forward, and then that grin, all of a sudden the mouth opens, and ash just blasts out at you
Evasion.
Okay. It blasts, and it is just barely going to be able to hit you. I need you to make a dex saving throw.
Good night, Misaki.
Night, Misaki.
Good night. Thanks for hanging out with us.
And let's hope we don't TPK.
I'm feeling pretty good about this roll. I know
I got a 22.
22, and if you succeed, you just don't take any damage. It goes half.
Correct.
So the ash blasts out of its mouth, and you dodge out of the way, and you were almost out of range as it was. You just kind of step back, and all of a sudden the statue stands back up. The grin returns to his face, and there's now a heavy cloud of ash right where it breathed all along there. That's heavily obscuring that.
Choose a black or any kind of. I mean,
Is there any use black or red?
no,
maybe?
let's do red
Or purple?
This is fine. We'll just say it there.
Okay. That's its turn, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Annual, you're up.
Okay, so are Sylvie and I back towards the door now?
You're back landed on the ground, yeah, towards the door.
Okay, cool. I'm going to use my action to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, my bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'll fire 2 arrows.
You channel the power of nature onto this effigy of Orpheus.
Uh, 15 for both.
15 for both. Both miss. They clank off of the side of the bracer, and another one off of the crown. Okay. With that, it's Gandy's turn.
I am going to Sacred Flame it.
Okay.
Which is a dex save.
Okay.
To do radiant. Not fire damage. Radiant damage. Crucial distinction. DC 16.
DC 16, I got a 22.
Oh,
and
good.
so the statue kind of tilts its head out of the way as the platinum flame just barely misses it. And with that, it is Rhoda's turn.
I'm gonna just, I guess, walk up and 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just go there. And ready to attack.
Okay, you're standing there at the ready. Okay, Sylvie, you're up.
I'm just gonna cast Eldritch Blast on it.
Okay.
Literally, I'll get used to it at one point. 16.
16 hits.
Okay. The other one failed.
Okay.
Eight. 19 damage.
You see the one of the ones hit into the magma. The other one blasts off a chunk of his shoulder as glitter is raining down from the wound. How much damage again? Sorry.
19.
19. I thought so. Okay. Vandus, you're up.
Okay. So now there's magma in front of us.
Oh, it's ash. It's a big cloud of ash.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just didn't know if it was. Okay, that's what
No,
I
it's
thought.
not magma. It's just obscure. It's
but
not.
there's still. How long does the maelstrom last for? Is there still water there?
Yeah, it's up to a minute, so it's gonna last a while.
There's just nothing that I can do here. I mean, unless I like charge in, and I guess what difficult terrain is half movement speed.
Yeah. So you could get there with 15 and leave with and get back to where you were with 30, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna run in using all of my movement to get to him. Attack. That allows me to use fancy footwork to use the rest of my movement speed, which I'll use my bonus action to dash and get back out.
So you will be disadvantaged because he's obscured. You're in the cloud of ash, but just that way. Okay. So you step into the water, wading through, choking a little bit on this huge cloud of ash that he just breathed out. But you have Venom's Spine, and you're ready to attack him.
Damn it! With a disadvantage, I got a 13.
13. You stab in, but there's some ash in your eye as it kind of clanks off the side of one of the buckles on his boots. And
I don't get a free disengage now because I didn't make an attack against it.
Yeah, you do. If it misses.
No, I mean I think it has to hit.
It doesn't. As long as you made the attack, you can back out.
Alright, well then I'm gonna use my bonus action and sprint away to get back out.
Okay. You just wade back out of the water, and you're wet from your chest down, and it is his turn, or its turn rather, and it is not recharging ashen breath, and it needs to make a strength saving throw.
Yep.
You gotta be kidding me. How much damage again? You rolled it.
See.
So once again, it's trying to struggle and
11.
Resist against this
11 again.
tumultuous.
22 damage.
Okay. It's trying to resist against this tumultuous whirlpool around it, and it once again stumbles again, gets battered by the violent water. You start to see some of its features starting to get worn away, and it is then going to attempt to break itself out of the magma. And it is going to be able to do that. You see it as the magma's cooled, it was able to weaken it a little bit, and it stomps forward through the ash, completely dispersing the cloud.
How is it able to move if the whirlpool pulls it back towards the
I'm
center?
not able to move, am I?
We'll pull it in.
It pulls it in 10 feet towards the center, but it's already in the center. So I think it's just the difficult terrain to get it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And
But
so
if it stays in the if it can't get out of the whirlpool, it could get moved back again.
Okay, so right here, it'll get to the edge of the whirlpool with the difficult terrain.
I'm gonna make. Do I make my attack now?
Yes.
I'm ready to attack.
Yep.
I am going to make it a. Yes, regular attack. Oh, I see. No.
As it steps forward, your sword once again clangs off one.
Oh wait, I get 2 because that was my ready action, so I get actually 2 attacks. 19.
19 does hit. So the first one clangs off of some of the jewelry. Your sword, the first one actually hitting an enemy with this.
What? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage?
The magic of the blade slices through the stone on the statue. And can the construct get wounded by your sword?
It just is necrotic damage.
I guess if it can, yeah, the construct can get, is it a magical wound?
Well, no, like a medicine check fixes it.
Okay, yeah,
so
probably not.
Probably not.
And so, how much damage again? Sorry.
15 damage.
15 damage. Your sword slices in, slices a bit off the shin, and as it slices in, it looks down at you, and it's just going to do a with both fists, each Rodek and Avantris. And we are going to do Rodek's first, and that's going to be a natural 1. It stumbles down as it fails to hit him, and this is going to hit Avantris as it slams down, and it is going to deal.
I'm going to use my reaction to attack him.
Okay, you're able to do that.
Sentinel.
Natty 20.
Natty 20, baby.
Oh, however, Rodek, as soon as you slash it with the melee range, you see hot ash pours out of its wounds. And you are going to take... Sorry about that, you're going to take 7 points of fire damage from the attack. Avantris, you got hit. That is... 8. Is that it? 16 points of... or 10 points of bludgeoning, 6 points of fire damage. As it smashed...
Do I have the whole thing, or only
the whole
have
thing.
one of those?
The whole thing. It's one hit.
I'm going to make it a... What size is this guy?
Huge.
Okay. And then Seas Monsters 1, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna, that's fine. Just gonna make it a regular old crit. Good. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26 damage.
26 damage. You take 7 points of fire damage.
Ooh.
As you carve in on his other leg, even deeper, hot ash sprays out from the statue right in front of you. But you do a significant... Tell me how much damage again, sorry. I need a
What
rate.
did I say?
26.
26. Oh, Jesus.
I'm chucking this guy pretty good.
Yeah, no, you are beating this statue up as it does a significant amount of damage, and then that is his turn. Annual, you're up.
Okay, my bow is shaking, I'm terrified, and I'm going to try to fire off 2 more arrows.
Okay.
So that is a 28 and a 20.
Both hit? I have 2
Again.
remixes. Don't hate me. And I don't
Let's
care
do
if
it.
you do. Don't hate.
Don't hate him. He's number 1.
First damage is 21.
Okay. The arrow flies in. Once again, it doesn't sink as deep, but it seems to chip off a little bit.
Second damage is 15.
Okay. Both fire into its his lower abdomen and sink in a little bit, chipping off some of the stone, but not quite as much. And with that, Genji, you're up.
Sacred Flame again.
Okay.
So DC 16.
That's gonna be a fail.
Alright, excellent. So that's 2d8 radiant damage, I think. Let me double check that. Yep. Ha! Nice. Very nice. That's gonna be 2 radiant damage.
Hot dog.
Rolled minimum.
This time it's not able to dodge, but the it kind of just grazes his arm as the pillar of platinum flame. You do see it kind of start to melt away some of the ashy stone, but it's not as much as you were hoping. Okay, and with that, it is Rodek's turn.
Okay. I'm gonna attack once and make it a power attack. Why not? Why not? That's not good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I'll use my reaction
11
to add
hit.
10.
So 20.
21, that hits.
Okay. So that does 10, 16, 26 damage.
26 damage.
Mhm.
Shit.
And I'll make it a menacing attack.
Okay.
Make a whiz saving throw.
That is going to fail. 4.
Okay, he is afraid of me until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so you take...
And 4 more damage, sorry.
Okay, you take another 8 points of fire damage as hot ash sprays out at you as it stumbles. However, your sword just is slicing through this statue like butter. And that was it? Just one hit?
Did I attack once? Oh no, I didn't. I still have another attack.
Right?
Yeah, I would like to attack again.
And you kind of
I'll
see
make it a power attack.
bit of fear in its fiery blazing eyes.
16?
16. That barely hits.
Ooh.
After being assisted the first time by the guiding hand of Bahamut, claw of Bahamut, you don't need him this time.
8,
He got
14, 24 damage.
24 damage. How do you want to do this?
Holy... I just want to kind of come through and just in one I kind of come in at one leg, and then I come back around and just swipe through both kneecaps and just like cut his legs straight off.
Okay.
As soon as I see him crumbling, I want to dismiss the maelstrom.
Okay. So, Rodek, you are looking at this thing. It has this massive fist ready to hit both you and Vanders. You've been blasted by hot ash every time you attack it. But you do need to take another... 2 points of fire damage.
Ooh, you've been rolling well before.
Yeah. As you take your new sword and you slice both knees after kind of weakening both of them with your previous strikes. The slice is completely clean through. The magic effect of this blade just really doing a lot of damage and having a lot of effect. All of a sudden, the statue starts to lose its stability as it kind of gets pulled back a little bit in the water and collapses, crumbles forward as the arm falls off. The torso breaks into 3 pieces, collapsing onto this platform, and the head bounces, rolls in between you and Vandris onto the platform, and the room is still.
So we're all thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah, that it was really lucky for Annulin that I decided to follow and taunt her.
That too. That was a good thing.
That could have been bad news.
Less the taunting thing, but following her definitely good.
And as soon as that happens, you dismiss the maelstrom, and the water cools off and kind of spreads out, and you see the steaming, hardened lava rock as you can see the edges start to glow as the starting to melt once again.
And Sylvie in the corner has strapped a towel around her body and she's propped her legs up on the pedestal and she's now enjoying a nice sauna.
Okay.
I want to kind of look in the body to see if we see any kind of key or anything.
Make an investigation check for me.
21.
21.
Jesus.
You look around and you find bits and pieces. Most of the jewelry has flown off into the lava and is already melting into the hot magma. And you do not find any kind of key inside of this.
Are there any gems we could take?
You find the only thing that's remaining is the crown, which is currently next to the head.
Let's just put the whole crown on the pedestal.
Or the whole head.
I thought the head was on the pedestal.
No, it just rolled kind of towards us.
It rolled in between you and Avantris. You should know this since you're standing there looking at it.
Now I have a feeling this is what he meant.
Yeah, I think it's just the
I
crown.
think we should try it.
Genji, you want to give
power.
me
Banji was
some
right.
help?
Sure.
Power. A crown means power.
Genji and I lift the head.
Okay. You touch the head.
Pedestal.
It's very, very hot still, but you're able to. It's after giving it a bit to cool down a bit. You both heave it up, and I'll say with both of you make just general athletics checks.
That's a 9.
Okay.
24.
Okay. So once again, Rodek doing most of the heavy lifting. Both of you walk the huge stone statue. You see now the eyes that had previously been glowing, blazing with fire, and its hair has been completely extinguished, and is once again back into its relatively pristine form with that same grin and laughing eyes as you carry it over and place it onto the pedestal. Immediately you hear as the head, as soon as it hits the pedestal, the door slides open and the pedestal sinks into the ground.
Do we get any kind of blast of heat again?
The heat that you're in is way more oppressive, I guess. It's so oppressive that you don't really feel anything.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's move forward and try to get away from this heat.
I take the crown and I put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
You want to write that down? The bag of the crown.
The crown is pretty massive. Can I fit in the bag of holding?
Do we just pry the gem off? At least.
Oh yeah. Is the gem still on it?
There are 5 gems on it.
Okay. We will pry the gems off.
Okay. So just make a dex check.
Does anyone want to help?
Whoa.
I'll help.
Okay. If you want to help Annulin, why don't you make a dex
I'll
check
help
advantage?
Annulin. There we go. Since she Annulin, you really wanted these.
Ooh, that was a 1.
At advantage?
Oh, at advantage.
Advantage, yeah. Rodek's helping you and Genji.
Woo. That's better. Dex is 26.
Ooh.
26. You, with the help of Rodek and Genji, you manage to pry all 5 of the gems off of this crown, and you all have them in your possession now. They're all this blazing, you kind of pick them up and they almost seem to be glowing at the center of them. That's how they almost look like magma itself. And
I'll put them in the bag of holding.
so, after that really intense battle and the heat all around you is starting to feel as overwhelmingly oppressive, I need everyone to roll a con saving throw.
Uh-oh.
And I assume it's not a spell. 21.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
15.
Okay.
15.
20.
10.
10. It starts to feel incredibly oppressive, but you manage to all get yourself into the next chamber. As it's still incredibly hot, but this hallway feels, despite it being incredibly hot, it feels way cooler compared to being completely surrounded by hot magma. And you step into the next hallway. The hallway once again kind of curves around a little bit, goes deeper into the volcano, and you walk forward and you see a little, from around the corner once again, you don't see the hot glow of magma. You see glint, shiny light, what almost looks like a gold color.
Shall we go stealthily?
Always.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys suck. I'm throwing them all out.
Oh shit.
Man, I've only rolled max on my my stealth checks here, man.
That-
All my other rolls have been so bad.
16 for
16?
11.
33.
23?
14.
14. Okay, great. So you all stealth around.
Hold on.
Oh, what?
I got a 28. What did you get, Avantris?
33.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I literally rolled max.
So the elves are feeling very stealthy, so they'll probably take the lead. And they're creeping around. It almost feels like a refreshing coolness despite still being incredibly hot in here. And you turn the corner, and immediately you are met with a brilliant, glorious sight. Piles all around the room. Piles of gold coins, gems, wands, strange statues, trinkets, things that look like bits of weapons that are kind of glowing with this glow. Some of these things are glowing with so many different magical auras around them. It's like kind of a pulsing, multicolored hue is being cast over the room once you kind of get inside. That's kind of radiating the glow of these coins and the like. And you seem...
Oh,
you seem
Mr.
Hey,
Kennex,
Mr.
thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome. You're the best.
Okay. You see
There's tons of gold.
tons
And
of
magic
gold
items,
and
it
magic
seems.
items and all sorts
Can
of...
we unveil it here just so we know what we're looking at?
I would
Hey!
be very careful and not touch anything.
I'm gonna
Thanks
be
for the
like
raid,
I'm gonna be
fellas.
like the monkey, or I'm gonna be like Abu in Aladdin, and I'm gonna immediately go for the biggest gem and pull it.
No! Wait! Please don't go!
It's so shiny.
Did you see what happened last time?
But I still need 3 ceramic bowls.
Well, none of that's ceramic.
Well, gold would do.
Are there gold bowls?
Make a perception check.
Dang, that's a
At
nice
disadvantage.
You said perception?
Yep.
8.
8. You are so distracted by the sheer brilliance of all of the strange looking magical contraptions and wealth that you can't get your ADHD to calm down enough to focus on something like a gold bowl.
I took my Adderall today.
Thanks for stopping by, Balthazar. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Oh man, I just need those damn bowls to finish this project.
We can find you bowls when we're done here. I promise.
So do you guys want to go swimming like a mysterious guy I read about in a book once called Scrooge McDuck?
No, do not touch anything.
It was a library book I picked up.
Sounds like a
That's
nut.
very fascinating.
Yeah, he would swim in monies.
Do any magic items stand out?
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
17.
17. You look around, and there are so many magical items in here. You would think everything would normally stick out, and everything sticks out so much that nothing sticks out.
There aren't any ceramic bowls in this room. Let's just go.
Avantris, I think you're right. Let's not touch a single thing.
Yeah.
And let's just move on.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
Lead the way.
Okay. You walk forward and you see a similar style stone door. This one has no pedestal and it has no indentation. It is marked in the same chaotic markings and runes as the previous doors. And once again, sprawled in common above the door are the words, "Touch nothing."
Well, I'm going to immediately say that Mage Hand springs to mind here. But I don't know what we're actually looking for. But I agree that we should touch nothing. And if we need to grab anything, we try to use the Mage Hand if at all possible, if you'd be willing to do that, Sylvie.
Well, first, do you think it means literally? Do you think we should have as many of us who can fly, and the rest of us find some way to climb up on something like the immovable rods or something and get all of our feet off the floor?
That's not a bad idea. Is
I
there
Can't just jump at one time?
Well, we can try that too.
Yeah, that sounds like a much
take a
better
selfie?
idea.
Oh, we do it.
Sounds like a much better use of my
We,
skills.
we all take a victory leap in the air.
Anchorman style.
So to coordinate that, let me get a group dex check.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
27.
20.
11.
16.
Remember, so instead of adding your saving throws, just add your dex. 18. Because that's just saving throws instead of a check. 18.
12 in that case.
So as you are all at the center or right in front of the door, you all coordinate the most epic 80s high five, yeah, moment. And as soon as all of your feet leave the ground, you hear a
Oh my god, that worked!
I just want to point out that we are advancing here literally through the power of friendship.
And I just want everyone to know that I took a selfie midair. A shelvie midair.
A shelvie.
shelving
A
midair.
shelvie
You took
midair.
your own person midair?
Yeah, because they've been through a dimension door multiple times.
Oh, so like makes a copy of you,
Yeah.
and then the other one like lands.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what
tube,
Forgus
or-
said.
Oh, right. Ganji, you're brilliant. Thank you. We saved so much time.
Alright, well, let's go through the door before it
Let's
shuts
just
or
go.
something.
Let's go. Well, let's stealthily go.
Yes.
Do we need to re-stealth?
Yes. I think all of that excited 80s jumping would make a bit of noise.
It's a 10 for me.
Okay.
23.
20.
21.
Okay. So
13,
you all
by the way.
13. Okay. You all try to blend into the darkness of the room with what you can from the glowing magical items kind of glinting off of the gold and platinum and silver as you leave the massive wealth behind you. And you
Goodbye.
go into a tunnel. And this feels very, very hot as you go deeper and deeper. This tunnel winds down, 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 deeper and deeper into the earth as the heat gets more and more oppressive. You finally see a door frame. Who's in the front here? Vanders? You finally see a door frame, and contrary to the others that you had seen, you probably have been walking for 10 minutes, and you see a door frame, and it is completely black.
Nothing else?
Is it on the map?
Well, no. It's just darkness. So,
Oh, right.
Winding business, but
Oh.
winding business. You see a door frame, and it is incredibly dark as the heat.
Oh, so the door itself is not dark. There is no door.
There is no
beyond it
door.
is dark.
There's a door frame, and it is incredibly dark. And this door
And
frame.
I'm guessing we can't see it with our dark vision. Can we not see through it?
You're probably not close enough. I'm just kind of giving you the door frame of each of the rooms before you approach.
Well, I'm willing to get closer, but I don't know if walking inside is wise.
Avantris, do you see any markings like on the other ones?
I'll go up and I'll inspect the door frame.
Okay. You walk up to the door frame, and you see the similar styles of the frames, the stone frame that the other doors had when you entered a room. But this is empty. As you peer into this room, this is, despite your dark vision, incredibly dark.
There's nothing special about the door frame.
Nope. Not that you can tell. Unless you want to investigate it, I guess. Can I have you roll investigation?
Yeah. I rolled because I assumed you were going to make me anyway. I got a 25.
25. It seems like just a stone door frame. Nothing seems to be different about this one.
Okay. I turn around to the rest of the group and I say, I don't see anything different with this frame, but this appears to be some sort of magical darkness. We've encountered stuff like this before.
I'd like to kind of go up towards the door frame and listen and see if I can hear anything within.
Okay. Make a perception check, please.
23.
23. You listen very closely, and it sounds incredibly still as the heat starts to get to you. But you are able to hear something incredibly faintly, and it sounds like something slimy moving across stone.
Guys, I don't like that. I hear something gross. It sort of sounded like my flail snail, but not maybe so nice.
How similar to the flail snail did it sound?
Make a nature check for me.
Well,
Does not sound similar to you.
I lied. It doesn't sound like my flail snail.
Well, I don't like the idea of walking into a room full of magical darkness.
Same.
So, do you have any way? Do either of you have any way to dispel it?
No.
I could try to dispel it. I have... Yeah, I could try to dispel. So yeah.
If you think we should, can we cast some kind of light to interact it?
Well, first let me try my standard strategy, and I'm gonna just pick up a rock or a coin or something, cast light on it, toss it in, and see if it works.
How does magical darkness work?
I think it snuffs out the light.
It does.
So as you pick up you probably a coin or something because it's all very smooth.
Yeah.
So you pick up take one of your coins, and the light erupts out of it. You chuck it into the room. You hear a little loud bounce, and it swallows the coin.
And we don't hear any reaction?
Make a perception check.
That's gonna be 20.
20. You hear a shifting, slimy shifting on stone.
Well, there's definitely something in there moving and reacting to things. So I think we should try to see what it is first. So I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Which is choose any creature, object, or magical effect in range, the darkness. If it's 3rd level or lower, the target ends. If it's 4th level or higher, I have to make an ability check using my spellcasting ability. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Darkness is 3rd level, right?
I think so.
If it's base level darkness, yes.
I'm pretty sure.
You can cast it at a higher level.
Can you?
Well, I'm not sure you... Well, I guess, yeah.
Can someone look that up for me real quick?
I'm not sure casting it at a higher level does anything.
I mean, aside from making it harder for you to dispel.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
So like, I know that warlocks, once they get it and they get like a 5th level spell slot and they cast darkness, it would be cast at 5th level.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please make a roll for me?
Okay.
Don't
It's a
it's second level.
And what's the
You
DC that's
can-
cast at 5th level?
At 5th level, it would be DC
15.
13. Or 10 plus the spell
10
level,
plus
yeah.
spells level.
Yeah,
15.
15. I'm going to use my inspiration because that is only 13. If I can roll above average. It's not. It's a 14. It's not quite going to do it.
14. You use the spell magic and nothing seems to happen.
Well, I guess it didn't work.
I guess not. I can try again, but no guarantees.
With my
it'll
perception
work.
roll, could I tell if it sounds like there's only one source of that sound?
I would say it's difficult. It sounds not immediately close to you, so it's difficult for you to tell.
Well, I suppose we could try again.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of like magical light you can cast into the?
Yes, but not anything lower than my apex of current magical power.
Well, if you're gonna do it again, then I guess it's time that I pull out my sweet, sweet jazz flute.
And from my pack, covered in bits of crusted Goralin shit, I pull out a pastel pink flute. And I begin to play a soft jazz tune.
Okay.
And I inspire you with my sweet, sweet jazz flute.
Was that the Austin Powers?
It absolutely was.
Jesus.
Very. Make a performance check. I want to see how good it was.
It was 20.
20. It is a beautiful rendition of the Austin Powers theme song.
My
And
mage
you
hand
feel-
is like slapping like
Yeah.
my hip alongside with me to
It
create
feels
that.
incredibly.
I'm
real
also
good.
going to give myself guidance for this because
So you have a D6 from
You
me.
feel the blessing of Bahamut after using that spell and not having a weapon.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You rolled a natty one.
No way. With all the bonuses, that ends up being another 14, which is one less than I needed.
Damn. You guys rolled 6 and 3.
So it's 10 plus 4.
Well,
He even rolled a max on Bardic Inspiration. If he had rolled a max on his guidance, it would have been perfect.
do you have the energy to try again?
I sure do.
We just charged it in here then? Is that our backup
No,
plan?
I'm gonna look at you one more time, and I'm gonna shake my head as I begin to once again play my jazz flute at you. And
Oh god. I
and
swear
it's
to
wrong, and it's gonna be completely out of tune.
God. I swear to
But-
God. If I don't get it this time.
Oh,
I just spelled a level 9 fucking spell on the
You
first
did.
try.
And that was rules as written.
17 plus a bunch. For fuck's sake.
So
That's
after finally channeling the power of the
All it
summer
took was
court and
sexy sex
the
flute.
blessing of Bahamut and the sexy sax flute, inspiring you, you wave your claws as all of a sudden you see a quick, very brief, small flash of light in the center of the room, and the darkness drops. It is still incredibly dark in the room, but everyone has dark vision because Ganji would have his goggles on. You see into the room now as you look out upon a long chamber with shapes spaced out evenly about every 5 feet. They seem to be crumpled humanoid shapes. But all of them are on their backs. I need whoever's in the lead, I guess Ganji, to do a perception check for me.
Those dice, destroy them.
That's gonna be an 8. I mean, they've been rolling well today.
Yeah,
An 8.
that's true.
Until now.
Is someone else going to take a look?
Vanders was up there with him.
Oh, Vanders.
And so was Shazzy.
Yeah, I can go. Am I just doing a general perception check?
I was playing my
Oh, yeah.
my jazz.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. General perception check?
Yep.
I'm not getting you.
Yes. Perception.
I got a natural 1.
Okay.
My perception
Sylvie,
is
why
a
don't-
plus 10, so that's an 11.
8.
Okay. You see a bunch of shapes on their backs, it seems.
What do you see? Stop it!
I'm a little exhausted from using all of my 3rd level spell slots.
Oh no.
And I'm really tired because I've used all of my ability to play music and inspire anybody. I think my flute is out of tune.
Begins to sound like a French horn.
That was special.
I start to proceed forward
Okay.
and join the rest.
Make a perception check for me.
Oh, see this. 24.
24. Rodek, used to living in mountains,
She's
is
old
able
hat.
to adjust his eyes. And Rodek, you see once again the long, relatively narrow chamber, and it's still incredibly hot. And you see that the ceiling seems to be rough cavern walls, and with strange kind of porous holes all up at the top. And you see, once again, figures, humanoid figures on their backs. You recognize the shape of the crocodilian lockjaw crooks. All of them shackled to the ground. In front of them each is a small circle with strange markings and runes. They all are motionless, and a large number of them have burst out chests, holes and wounds in their chests.
Does that sound familiar?
As you turn and look at me, I've got the rotting head of that fish creature on, and I'm just staring at you.
That thing would have been slime.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, it's literally just like,
You do not
basically
have
just
that.
goop all over my head. It
And with-
smells
Disgusting.
terrible.
And with that, we'll end the session.
Oh, ton ton ton.
Well,
Ton.
thank you,
Da-da-da.
thank you so much.
They were tadpoles, remember?
For everyone joining in. We will be back again on Wednesday for Call of the Feywild, DM'd by Nikki here.
Monday.
Monday? What did I say?
Monday, you said Wednesday.
Monday. And then we're back again next Wednesday for another Avantris Prime. I guess, once again, if you're still here, thanks so much for tuning in and sticking around. Thanks for the raid, Chem, X. And then remember, we have our giveaway, amazing dice bag, custom dice bag by Nikki, amazing leather dice tray, also by Nikki, some pretty cool dice by Chessex.
Not Nikki.
Yeah.
I don't make dice.
And so you can win all of that. We just need to get to 500 followers, so spread the word, tell your friends, get them to follow us, and hopefully you've been enjoying our adventures. I guess that I don't know if there's any other.
The Great Andini stream.
Oh yes, the Great Andini. Please go, Andy.
That's me.
If you want to put the link to your channel, you should put the link to your channel. Please follow him. The Great _Andini, ANDINI. He streams WoW and some other games. It's really a great time. He's great at narrating and engaging with fans. It's an awesome time. When I'm prepping for D&D, I always just throw on the Great Andini on my iPad, and I just work away and just kind of shit post in the chat. It's a great time. And
that's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, it's just true, man. And so when we're not streaming here, we're normally kind of in that chat, and we're all dicking around, join our Discord. We like to have a good time with that. I think we're going to raid somebody soon. So please share. If you have your Hooters, flash your Hooters. And if not, just show the love of the Avantris fam to these other small streamers. So who are we raiding, Rich?
The Venture Maiden.
We're raiding the Venture Maiden. So please share the love.
My Hooters are primed and ready.
Are your Hooters primed and ready? Okay, we're gonna do this. So we got how many? We're gonna
get some.
Okay. We're 12 raiders, 11 raiders. Okay, ish. So anyway, with that, thanks so much, guys.
If you're on Facebook, check us out on Twitch.
Twitch is where we engage.
Come hang out with us in the Feywild on Monday, 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Somewhere between.
So spread the love, flash your Hooters. We love you guys, and we will see you next time in the realm of Avantris.
And the Feywild.
Prime your Hooter.